Okay, good morning. Guten Morgen, mein Freund. Good morning. Alright, let's see here. Video unavailable. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Ew. Ew. Alright, just let me get set up here for a sec. Why is that video? Why is my horizontal video unavailable? What is happening right now? You good? You good, bro? Video unavailable. What does that mean? What does it mean? There it is. There it is. Oh, it's still unavailable. What the freak? What the freak? We're just getting started. We're just getting started here. Good morning. Okay, my horizontal stream is not working. That's very odd. YouTube, hello, please. Could I like redo it, maybe? Let me try one more time to get this working. Horizontal stream. Work. No. Just stuck on, yeah, just stuck on unavailable. It is stuck on unavailable. Off and back on? Does that work? I don't know, that probably just created like a whole nother VOD that I may need to delete. Okay, finally spawn things, please. Okay, video still available. Okay, so the horizontal YouTube stream is just not gonna fucking work today, I suppose. Huh. Weird. Oh, there I am. Finally it works. Okay, sick. Yeah, this is why I need the intro screen, I guess. So I can figure stuff out like that. Okay, let's get started. It worked now? I think so. I think so. The horizontal stream works now. Welcome in, though. Welcome in, everyone. What are we doing today? I hope I can finally spawn some things in the world today. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. There's me. There's me. Okay. So, what did we do yesterday? Yeah, we basically just did navigation things yesterday. I was figuring out how to get a, like, kind of a callback for whenever navigation finished for a specific terrain chunk or like a specific component. And the only way I figured out how to do that was to check for pending dirty tiles on tick, which ended up being kind of a performance intensive process. So we kicked it off into the procedural terrain subsystem, launched a background task and did that there. And then we kind of call back to the game thread when that's done, because we don't need it to be like instantly finished or anything like that. I don't need to instantly know, frame perfect know when navigation is finished generating for a given chunk. I just need to know at some point so I can spawn things. So yeah, I guess we're moving on to that now. So I have procedural spawn locations. I did this day before yesterday, I believe. And we are outputting them from the graph. So I loop over some biome definition information. Put a little debug boy on there, a little debug boy. And so I have these points that are generated. Some of them are going to be kind of bad, but that's what we need the navigation for. We're going to start to see these pop up over the world as the graph runs. So these are all the spawn points I've come up with. Those are so close. Those are so close. Wait. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so upset if the definitions didn't save. They're supposed to be 3,000 apart from each other. What zone is that over there? That's a forest. That is a forest. Aha. Aha. Also, I need to change the noise, the seed noise, because I think we're probably just stacking a bunch on top of each other right now. Let me just go through and make sure these are all correct. 3,000, 3,000. Okay, that's good. I just looked at desert, mountain, 3,000. Ocean is blank. We don't do anything there. Swamp. Swamp is double threes. Okay. Okay, I think that might just be... I think that might just be because, you know. Okay. So yeah, here's a bunch of spawn points. Like, say, these ones on the sides here, these are going to be invalid. They're too steep. And if I spawn something there, it wouldn't be able to move because there's no nav mesh on that. You know, like, there's no nav mesh there. So anything spawned there would be stuck. It would be stuck. So I've devised a plan. Function that will well, I did it in blueprints, a proof of concept then, if I may. I basically just like check 500 schmeckles in each direction and try to pathfind. I project a point in 500 north, south, east, west direction, and then I project that to the nav mesh, and then I try to pathfind to it. And if any one of those succeeds, then I can assume it's a valid one. So I tested that in blueprints. It seems to work, and it seems to get rid of all these cliffside ones, which is what we want. Is what, like, yeah, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. Although that one might be valid. It'll be interesting to see. But now, now that I know when the nav mesh is finished, we can move forward. So let's commit this. Let's do, what am I saying here? Right, callback, or I'll just like write on nav finished for terrain chunk system. Cool. Easy commit. All right. So now I have this function, and I know when navigation is finished generating. So I suppose for these spawn points, I'm going to need to save these. Somewhere and somehow. Let's just save them on the terrain chunk for now. And I suppose we will just... Yeah, I think we'll just put it... Yeah, we'll save it here. Are you developing the game? I am. Why is my chat not working? Why is my chat not working? Test. Oh Lord. Test. Okay, Twitch works. YouTube is fucking up today. Okay, now the YouTube one came through. Okay, little delayed. I think I got him now. But hello everyone. Hello everyone on YouTube. We're working on procedural terrain spawn locations today. It's so cool. How long do you do streaming? I've been streaming, I think today is actually my affiliate anniversary on Twitch, so about a year, I guess. Your video has mobile orientation, by the way. Yes, that is the idea. That is not like an accidental thing that can happen. That's a very, very on purpose thing that actually took a lot of effort to set up. That's why it shows up in YouTube Shorts. Otherwise, it would not show up in YouTube Shorts. That's how that works. There is a horizontal stream on both Twitch and YouTube, though. So if you prefer horizontal, you have that option as well. Yeah, here's the terrain. Let me run the generator again. What's the game about? It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain. So I'm thinking something like Vanilla WoW minus the MMO, plus a game like RimWorld, which is a Colony Sim, plus something like Hades Roguelite. Loop Trader, welcome in. How you doing? Yeah, there's the terrain generation right there. What kind of game are you making? RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. Yeah, RPG kind of like Vanilla WoW, something, you know, lots of classes to pick from. Every class has a bunch of abilities to pick from, you know, different talent trees. Here's my shitty talent trees so far. Just kind of some random stuff thrown together. And it'll be kind of survival-y, probably some survival light mechanics. You know, I can go over here and chop trees, for instance. I can use that wood. Dynamic tree chopping too, by the way. So wherever my axe hits is where it subtracts, and then it'll fall. It's falling here. It's not falling very fast, but yeah. I got a little building system too. Use my wood there. And then eventually, I'm trying to spawn things into the world now. I built my own ECS system to efficiently render like a bunch of colonists all over the world. Here's the world map. We are in Emberfall. We are in the Emberfall zone. We're right next to the Evergreen Thicket and the Desolate Shore. Unity does not have booleans, by the way. I find that very hard to believe. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Do you have a Steam page? No, I don't even have a name. It's called My Project. It's still just called My Project. Dynamic tree chopping. We have truly reached the peak of interactive entertainment. I know, yes, people will fawn and swoon over my trees. Eventually, I want it to be like Valheim with like the tree dominoes and stuff like that, you know, where they deal damage to the trees next to them. And they'll deal damage to players, and then they can potentially knock over other trees, causing a domino effect. And I'll have different axes with different stats and stuff in the game. Right now, I just have one. Woody Wood Axe. Ow, that was fucking rude. I forget if I can chop the trunks. No. No, I cannot. Eventually, I'll have colonists have to take these logs back to a lumber mill and process them before you can actually get the wood. My boyfriend, he left me. Why? Probably because you're spending too much time asking streamers really weird questions on YouTube Shorts. If I had to take hazard a guess. You'll be fine. Unity does not have Boolean. Or do you mean Boolean subtractions? Perhaps not the primitive. You don't mean the primitive data type, do you? Because that's hard to believe. Maybe you mean the Boolean subtractions, which is what I use for the tree chopping. Yeah, no stream page. Geometry Booleans, I mean. I see. Okay, yeah, that sounded a bit weird. I probably should have assumed you meant something different. I'm really sad. Well, I'm sorry that you're sad. But we're doing game dev, so it's a happy day. And I'm trying to get things spawned into the world today. That's what I'm doing. Here's the world, procedural world. Every pixel on here is a terrain chunk. And you can see some information about it up there. So the world map's generated uniquely for, you know, every time you play through the game. The lightness and darkness of each pixel relates to its altitude, and different zones have different like terrain noises, so they have different terrain shapes to them. Like for this one's all bumpy, you know, and then this one's kind of like smoother over here, and then this one has like some big larger hills. So 3 different sets of noise here, and they all react to altitude differently. Bool is an illusion. There's only 1 bit unsigned integer. That is true. That is true. And actually, unsigned integers are illusion as well. There's only 1s and 0s. actually, if you want to get literal. It's only electricity on or off, passing through a logic gate at a clock rate. How did you start game dev, and what's the future? I know it's a weird question, but like, what's the industry value? I don't care about the industry. I'm just doing this for funsies, my dude. Just for funsies. How did I start game dev? I just kind of started. I've always wanted to make a game, and I just started one day, and I never stopped. That day was about 2.5 years ago now. There's only electrons. Now, we can go further. It's only turtles. All the way down. But yeah, these white dots are my spawn points that I've procedurally generated. I need to output. They have been outputted. And now I also know when the navigation is finished generating. There's the navigation. I know when it's finished generating for each terrain chunk. And so what I'm going to do for like this point right here, this is not, I don't want to spawn anything here. Actually, I could spawn something there. That one would actually be fine. But take like this point right here. Like that's on a nav island. That's not going to be a valid spawn point. Ripro, what's up? Welcome in. But yeah, this is not going to be a valid spawn point. So I've devised a plan. Just kind of starting is the best way of starting. Did the same 9 years ago. Man, you've been in it for a minute. You started starting a longer ago than me, because that's how time works. But yeah, I'm going to do a pathfind. I'm going to do a pathfind in 4 different directions, just northeast, south, and west. I'm going to project a point northeast, south, and west. I'm going to try to pathfind to it from this spawn point. And if any one of those succeeds, then I know it's a valid spawn point. But if it doesn't, this one will not, then I can call the point and determine it's invalid. What exactly did you learn? Can you summarize a quick roadmap? That answer is gonna be different for everybody, depending on the game that you're making. Like I don't follow tutorials or anything like that. I have an idea in my head that I want to work towards. I break it down to small steps. And I try to implement the simplest version of it that I can, right? I do it very iteratively, and anything that I need to learn to do so, I search for it. Google search, YouTube search, even AI can be helpful now. So that's how I got into it. That's my method. How do you manage that UI and eliminate the size for different screen size? Well, that's the funny part. I don't. It's just a shitty UI at the moment. I haven't put a whole lot into it. But yeah, there are some tools in Unreal Engine for managing that. You can make them based off of, you can make the UI based off of screen size rather than like a pixel size. Can you maybe explain your project? What's the point of the game? It's a very sandboxy type game, so the point is kind of what you make it. But RPG Colony Sim Roguelite is the combo. So the flow is going to kind of be the loop, as they say in the game industry. The loop is going to be, you know, you make a character at the start of the game. You create a character. You pick what class you want to do. You know, you start at level 1, and you probably just spawn. You spawn in the middle of the map. And as you go further out, the zones get stronger and stronger, like Minecraft. Exactly. Like Minecraft with a little bit more. And as you go around in the world, you'll level up, and you can choose from new abilities. You can pick talents. You can find new gear, and you can encounter colonists. You can fight monsters, and you can encounter colonists. Now you can recruit these colonists to work with you, and you can start building a colony. So there's a building system in the game. You can build things. You know, I could build like a little tiny little house. You know, my colonists might be upset that they're sleeping on the ground, for instance. So I can build them a little house with a bed. If I can. Okay, we're gonna have to build stairs. No, that's not where I wanted the stairs at. But you know, I could send my colonists to go chop wood for me. I could send them to go construct the buildings for me, you know. And so I also have AI generated quests. And I send like my whole game database in a prompt to the Gemini API. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's happening here? That's weird. Bed was not working properly there for a second. But yeah. So the colonists should have a little bit of life to them. Like even here, everything that spawns kind of has a little bit of a background. So I just pick a random one. I don't even know what genasi means. But every colonist you encounter in the world has this information. Some traits: skeptical, disorganized. Sometimes they're like rude or anxious or like happy, you know, all sorts of different personalities. And that gets fed into the AI. Brings them to life a little bit. And I will be feeding in like all the events that have happened in the game. And I'll try to be generating like quests and stuff like that. That'll be interesting for you to kind of pursue as you run around through the world, setting up multiple colonies. You know, maybe you want to... This would be a good lumbering colony, you know? And then you'll need to maybe find some good miners to go in the mines and find ore, you know? Eventually there's going to be like ore and monsters down here. Hope you succeed in life in your project, brother. Thank you. And the same unto you. And the same unto you. So yeah, that's going to be the flow. And it's going to be a roguelite, so... I'm gonna go for a long form roguelite, which is kind of a decision, right? When people play roguelites, usually they're quick runs, you know, 30 minutes to an hour, I would say. When you die, you start over, and there's some form of meta progression, so you get like more skills, more abilities, or something every time you play through, and then every run you have like different abilities or something like that. So every run is different. But for me, I kind of want it to be a long form. And I think that increases the stakes, right? So your colonies will be able to get attacked. They'll be able to get attacked. They will, your colonists will die. And, you know, you're going to have to deal with those consequences, right? Like you may have a really good colonist or something like that. Happy affiliate anniversary. Thank you. I didn't even realize it, but thank you. Didn't realize I've been streaming for about a year now. How long does it take ChatGPT to fill in all the details? That's the funny part. I don't use ChatGPT. It's too slow and it's too expensive. I use Gemini, which is faster, less expensive, and has a larger context window. It has a 1 million token context window, so I can put my entire game, you know, lore and database in there. I can put every single creature that has spawned into the game and their locations in there, you know. Every event that has happened in the game, I can bake it in there. Twitch autofilled it in. Yeah, it does that. It do that. But yeah, it doesn't take too long. It doesn't take too long. If I use a Gemini Flash, it can take like 20 seconds maybe. 20 seconds to get a prompt back. Because I actually do a multi-shot prompt, so I actually send 2 different requests. One to generate a quest, just free text form, and then another one I give it a JSON object and I say, hey, take the quest you just generated and put it into this JSON object, encode it into the JSON object. And it actually does a really good job of doing that, which is kind of surprising. Honestly. And then I have all these different like quest actions, you know, like, oh, kill, or which I actually had to word it differently. I had to do like defeat, because if I did kill, it would never use it. Because it was like, I don't know, it was like too scared to use the word kill or something. So I changed it to defeat, and then it would use that. So you can defeat things, collect things. I think you can interact with things, talk to people. So the internet connection is mandatory to play. Well, I hope not. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping the local models can be good enough by the time this releases. But again, it's a 5 years down the road decision. I am nowhere close to making any final decisions about anything. About anything, really. So yeah, I hope to have some local model running, and then maybe you can give it an API key if you'd like. Is 3D really tricky? Yeah, it has its difficulties over 2D for sure. Vector math and rotational math kind of sucks. But yeah, let's make this world. Let's fill out this world with some stuff. Since it kind of produces more bugs than 2D. Yeah, I mean, you have an exponential amount more of things you need to account for. But let's go into terrain chunk. So I need to take all this here. And I guess let's just store the output data. Let's just do T array. I mean, should I process this when I get it, actually? Because I really just need... Maybe I can have a struct. Let's just make a struct here real quick, just to make it easier for me to work with later. Let's do a ustruct f spawn. I'll do f pcg spawn point, or just spawn info, maybe info. Yeah. Okay, so I need the background spawn index, but then I'm probably just gonna fill it out with the biome definition, which is just gonna be the let me look up biome definition here. Trunk biome zone. Biome definition, there we go. Give me that. So it's just gonna be f background spawn def. That's what I want, I believe. So we'll have one of those. Spawn def. And that's the spawn that it came from. I do need, I'll do just f transform, spawn transform. What else do I need? What else do I need from that info? I work at Google as just a software engineer. But I do not do game dev professionally. Where did my where the hell was I? There we go. Yeah, I guess I just need, let me look at the data real quick again. What do I have here? Just give me something. Okay. Background spawn index. I only have, yeah, that's fine. I really just need position, right? Rotation, sure. I'll have that too. Color, is on surface, maybe? Is on surface could be useful. I don't know what I would use that for, because I've already used that. I mean, I just need the spawn def and the transform. Was really all I need. So I guess let's just start filling these out. So let's do t-array f pcg spawn info. Spawn infos, let's reserve some memory, since we happen to know how many we will have. And we'll do that each loop. Point data, it should be like get num points, right? Get num points. And I guess I would want a bool for b is valid. And that's what I'm gonna fill out later. Spawn info is reserve. And then I need to do like a for each point, what is it? Point data, it's like get points, right? Get num points. Okay, so I have to for I. I have to for I through that. So point data, get num points. This should be I, because we are in a nested for loop. We love that. FPCG point, there we go. Wait, why is my, I can't get points from this? Oh my god, do I have to do a 2-point data? Get transforms copy. I mean, that would work, but I really just can't get the point. Interesting. Okay, this is a new data type that they introduced in 5.6. That's all private, so I can't even do anything with that. Yeah, so I guess I'll just git transforms copy. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Build a T-array. That's all I wanted from it anyway. Transform, spawn transforms, blah, blah, blah. What theme are you using? I think this is Darkula. I think this is Darkula. I think I had to change it a little bit. Theme is just dark. And I think, oh, editor color scheme, Darkula. There we go. I think that's the default writer or JetBrains one. Point. Okay, so I guess now I need to... I'm doing this attribute and then getting the value of the output data, which... This is going to be... There's going to be multiple in here, right? Yeah, let me pop back out here. Let me look at this guy. Give me... Show me a terrain chunk. Thanks so much, of course. Of course. Yeah, just give me some... Give me this chunk. Give me that chunk. Yeah, what do you output here? Yeah, you do have two. I wonder if I should gather these or merge these. That might make it just easier. Background spawn index 0, and then here is 1. Okay. We do just have it on each one. And then that way I wouldn't need to really do a nested loop, but I mean, might as well. And I think this value is actually not correct. I should be doing this. I should be doing this in here. Doing I believe. Yeah, I think that's probably right. And let's just say if background spawn index is -1, we have an issue. And I would like to know about it. I would like to speak to the manager if that happens. Error, yes. Invalid spawn index. What was the pipeline earlier you were checking? This thing? This is a PCG graph. And this is what spawns all of the... This is what does the procedural spawning of all the assets on the terrain. And so that's just a built-in Unreal Engine thing. And it's really, really super cool. It's super cool and you can do a lot of really cool things with it. For instance, you know, I have a whole system built up to determine whether or not sampled points on the terrain are in caves or not. And that's how we get this like really cool cave assets that are quite, you know, there's no tree spawn down here. And initially there were. And then we got the 3D caves. Eventually there's going to be ore and monsters and stuff down here as well. But yeah, it's all procedurally spawned, terrain including. Terrain including. Here's the world map. There's me, record scratch. Probably wondering how I ended up here. Best of luck, bro. Hope you can spawn things. I hope I can too. We're getting there. We're getting there. I just need to validate my data. Actually just put this in there because I'll be able to see. But anyways, let's start packing up this spawn info. Spawn info dot spawn def equals chunk biome zone. Biome definition background spawns is valid. Basically that, except you kind of sucked. Kind of sucked at that. Okay. AI kind of shit the bill there. Okay, give me this. Auto background spawns. Background spawns. Spawn def. Yeah, then equals that. Background spawn. And let's just say if Do this instead of a nasty ternary operator. AI loves ternary operators, I've found. Okay, there we go. That looks nice. Spawn info dot transform. Spawn transform equals point. Yes, put that. We'll just put that up there. Is valid, can be false. We don't know. We don't know that yet, so that's what we're gonna try. So we've packaged up all the data. We have a spawn info. I need to add it to some spawn infos. We've reserved it. Spawn infos dot add. Spawn info. There we go. Okay. So I packaged up all that data. Now, when navigation is finished generating, hello, please. Where are you? When navigation is nav finished. There we go. When navigation is finished generating. Oh, I didn't actually set that on anything, so I guess I need a PCG spawn infos. Spawn infos, okay. Spawn infos. Yeah, let's just do this, but let's also empty it just to make sure. Okay, so now we're using the right one. Now, when it finishes generating, spawn info. Okay, so this is where I'll probably want to do a background task. So let's launch that. Yeah, just give me that real quick. We're gonna do that. Get rid of all this gobbledygook. Background normal, cool. So this is going to be something that's a little performance intensive. So transform, let's just do f vector location equals spawn info spawn transform get location. Wonderful. So we need to do pathfinding here. And I believe I did a I believe I have a pathfinding. Find path for entity. Find path for entity. Yeah, so I can get the entity information off of the... Well, no, because I won't have an entity. What does this do? Entity upon half height. Yeah, so I do need some information about, like, the nav agent. Like, you know, what size is the thing that I'm trying to move? Which I suppose can be located on the spawn definition. Because we have the archetype here, right? And then we have all the entity datas, the daters, including the avatar data, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we do have actor radius there. I do not have actor half height there. Interesting. Why don't I have that? Damn, a coding stream? Yes, indeed. A game dev stream at that. Here's what we're working with. Here's what we're working with. We're doing procedural terrain, and I'm trying to come up with procedural spawn points, and so that's what all the white dots are. Those are my debug spawn points. And right now I need to get rid of all these ones on the sides of the mountains, because I don't want to spawn things there. That don't make no sense. You know? So I need to do some pathfinding from every single one of those, which is that's going to be really performance intensive. Like, look how many there are. Look how many dots there are. And then look how big the world is. Like, I'm only rendering like this big of a circle. There's the world. Quite large. So, yeah. We're going to put that in a background thread. We're going to put that in a background thread. I guess for now, let's just like do something quick and dirty. Quick and dirty. And what I actually want to do, find path for entity. Put this over there. Entity connected, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I can make an even more generic function here. We're gonna do just find path. I'll just do find path for agent props. And so I just need to, instead of an entity and an entity subsystem, float agent radius, agent height. I don't think I'm passing in step height. Half height and radius. Yeah, that's really all we're doing. That's all we're passing in there. So I don't know why path points was there either. Bad AI. Okay. Generate that definition. And let's just take the innards here. Take that. No, not the... well, that's fine. Find path. I guess I need a world context object as well. That's amazing. I always wanted to become a game dev. We'll do it. Me too. Me too. You got to start though. Pathfinding or just filtered by gradient angle? I have already, these are already filtered by the normal angle, but you'll see some of the terrain. Where's a good example of that? Yeah, like the terrain sometimes, like this one, right? Like there are some flat spots here. And yeah, that's because of my really low resolution terrain, but I can't only rely on that, right? There could be a completely flat spot. There could be a completely flat spot. I'll try to find one. Yeah, like right here. No, maybe not, but like, you know, up here, let's say. You know, would I want a point on one of these little nav islands to be spawned? I mean, maybe at the top of the mountain, it wouldn't be too bad. But you can, there are scenarios that can happen where you'll just have a completely flat spot that the entity can't really move around on, right? So regardless of the angle, I still need to do this to validate the point. Is there no way to check area of acceptable nav mesh within AABB so you could exclude them if they are smaller than some filter value? I think what you're describing is actually harder than just doing a couple pathfinding queries. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do 4 up to 4. Maybe I don't even need 4. Maybe I just need 2. We'll play around with it. Like I said, I've already proof of concepted it, and I did it in a blueprint, and it actually, the performance actually wasn't too bad. So once I do it in C++ on a background thread, I think we're cooking, you know? Let me get a world context object in here. U object world context object. I don't want an entity. Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, world context is there. A new line that. World context object. Float. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that all looks good now. Okay. Why are you mad? I think you're fine. Oh, the path. That's why I didn't do blueprint callable. Okay, that makes sense. World context object, radius, height. We'll just do a UEL here. For error. I'll just say no nav data. Path query. What am I what is this constructor? Owner. Okay, world context object, which I'm just going to call this owner now. Since I guess that's what it's going to be used for. Owner. You need to be const. What are you mad at now? Const. There we go. Okay, so we have our generic pathfinding. We have our generic pathfinding. So let's use this. My generic utils, find path for agent props owner. We can just do this. Rain chunk can be the owner of this. Agent radius. Now I can get this from, I'm just going to shoehorn this in real quick just for testy tests, you know. 3090, I happen to know what the agent height and stuff are. So start is just spawn location. And now I need to determine the directions. So let's make a T array of F vector directions. So we're gonna go F vector, I guess like 0, 1, 0. Yeah. Is that right? Is that northeast, southwest, or do I need to do -1, -1? Okay, let's do this. North, east, southwest. Okay, put that comment there so AI understands the... Oh, come on. I know you know what to do here. Oh my god. It got even worse. There we go. 0, 1, 0. 1, 0, 0. 0, -1. -1, 0, 0. Let's just assume that's correct. Okay, so for each direction in directions... we need to do my math utils, I think it's in. Get point, never mind, it's not in there. My generic utils, get point along direction. Start point is spawn location, direction, and what is the distance? Let's use the spawn radius, right? Let's use the spawn radius from this thing. Spawn def dot radius. Spawn radius. So that'll be 3000. So it's going to do a pathfinding query in 3000 in each direction. And I actually need to project this to the nav mesh. So let me see here. Nav system, project point to navigation. Point should be this point, so F vector end point, we'll just call it. So we're going to project end point. Oh, and I need an out location. F vector projected point. So now that this projected point will be on the nav mesh. What are the params here? What are my options? Oh, and it returns a bool for like success or something. Agent properties just null. I think I can leave the rest null. I'll leave the rest empty. Oh, wait, why are you mad now? No viable. Oh, it's an F nav location. Okay. F nav location. We'll call that projected nav location. Wonderful. So nav location, I assume, has a vector on it. Location. Wonderful. Find path for props. Or agent props. There's probably, let me actually look here. There's probably a path. Find path. Does path intersect bot? Find path to act synchronously. I was wondering if there's like maybe a cheaper function for just like does path exist, but that's probably the same as just finding the path. Those are probably one and the same. Path cost. Potentially expensive, use with caution. Get path length. Potentially expensive, use with caution. Yeah, that's a that's a worrying comment to come across. Not exactly what you want to see. Not exactly what you want to see. What just happened there? Okay, so find path for props. F path finding results. If result dot result. Okay. Okay. Success. And let me check what else is on results. Is partial. So really we want this. We don't want it to be partial. If it's not partial, if it is partial, then it's an invalid path. And result dot is successful. Then we're done. This is a valid point. So we'll go make this a ref so we can update it. Spawn info dot is valid is true. We validated it. It's true. We can now break out of this for loop. What IDE is this? This is Rider by JetBrains. Okay. I wonder if I should care about whether or not this point actually gets projected to nav or not. Let's do this. Bool projected. If projected and so if it doesn't do a successful job of projecting the point. Actually, let's do that first so we can potentially skip. You can potentially skip the pathfinding if the point didn't get projected properly. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so I do want to know when this finishes. Let's do a give me a scope trace thing. Yeah, that, thank you. So that can tell me how long it takes. And then when we're done, let's just throw a log in here so I can breakpoint on it. And get some stats. Let's put this into a function too. Void a terrain chunk, filter PCG, filter invalid PCG spawn points. And we're gonna slap all this in there. Create that declaration, cool. Let's move that down to private. Cool, okay. Up here, filter invalid spawn points, wonderful. Okay, now that's nice and tight. What am I making? It's a video game. Working on a video game. I will show it here momentarily. Okay, so let's grab this then. And yeah, I just want a breakpoint on that. So let's rebuild. I think we're ready to test that. I think we are ready. So what I'm working on right now, it's a RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo with procedural terrain. You know, like Minecraft, basically. What language? This is Unreal Engine, so it'll be C++. But yeah, so we're working on procedural spawn locations. And I have the spawn locations, but I need to validate them. I need to filter them out, because there's a bunch that get spawned in invalid locations. So what I'm going to do, or what I just wrote was like, I'm going to pathfind to just a random point in 4 directions. If at least one of those succeeds, it's a valid point. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him, you know? But if all 4 of those fail, then, you know, I know it's a bad spawn point. We shouldn't use that. Now, the annoying part is that because this is outside of PCG now, I can't actually debug very well. I suppose I could do a visual log. Yeah, I could do a vlog, actually. That might be nice. That might be nice. Does break out of all the for loops? I don't know. I don't think so. Just this one. So yeah, let's actually do something like this. For each, We're going to go back through the spawn infos. We're going to do another loop through. And I'll just say if spawn info. Well, let's do this. Okay, yeah, if. This is going to be for debugging. If spawn info dot is valid, else UE vlog location. Okay, come on. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted. Do that. Come back to me. There we go. Is that is that the right? Sounds like it would be hard for narrow linear pathways since you don't know which direction the path is going in. That's what the nav mesh projection is for, so that should handle most of that. And this is just on terrain, so there shouldn't be too many super narrow pathways, but let me, you know what, I'm just gonna run it right now. Oh boy, what did I just, what broke here? What is this? Huh? Why did that break? Uh-oh. What did I accidentally change? Oh, I called that owner instead of source object. Oops, okay. Right, I changed the wrong thing. That makes sense. My bad. Well, let's finish writing this real quick then. You need like an owner, right? Log owner. Category name, verbosity, location. You wanted thickness before color. Beautiful. Okay. Green. I don't need any text, actually. We don't need really any text. Can I just omit that entirely? No, it doesn't like that. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I just need green and red, so actually just do this. Just do this. This will be a lot easier. Okay, so now we got some logs. Let's rebuild that now. I don't need that breakpoint anymore. I don't need that breakpoint anymore. So now we can just look in the vlogger, which is nice. That's nice. It's nice. I'll see which ones are the valid ones for each terrain chunk and which ones were the invalid ones. 10 might be a little too slim. I don't know. I should probably do like 50 or something. That way I can actually see them through the debug boxes, perhaps. Okay, we're built. We are built. We are built. Okay. Are you good now, or are you like? Okay, yeah, you're good now. You're good now. So let's first of all open up the vlogger, visual logger. Start me up. Okay. Yep, I know. So there's procedural terrain. It's going burr. ECG should start spawning. There we go. And then navigation should be going now. Yeah, we see navigation. So 010, you maybe should be done here shortly. Let me look here. Oh god, there's so many. Should be on the terrain chunk. Oh my god, there's so many logs. Okay, this might be more difficult than I thought. Let's put that breakpoint back there. Make sure we're actually getting there. Okay, I forgot that I also changed a value, so I gotta run live coding. Can we run, please? No, we can't. No, we can't, apparently. What are you working on this time? We're working on filtering out invalid spawn locations. And I'm trying to be able to debug those. And there's too many things showing up in here. Oh, it's because there's like terrain chunk logs in there. Ugh. I don't need like... I don't need this log. Turn that off. There we go. Okay, that'll work. Oh, I see them. Oh, I see them. Yeah, they're... Oh, yeah, they're tiny. Oh, yeah, they're tiny boys. There's a spawn... There's a spawn point. Yeah, we should make those much bigger. I think there's some red ones there. How do you write tests for Unreal Engine? I know there's some test files in the source code you can check into. I've never written any myself. Now, these probably should not have been invalid. Those probably should not have been marked as invalid. Let's rerun it because I need to make those a lot bigger. I can see them still. Most of them were okay. Most of them were okay. Now, I wonder actually if I should, maybe I can do this. Let's do this. We'll log it there. We'll log it here, actually, after the end, because we need to know if it's valid. Need to know if it's valid. Don't breakpoint anymore. And then let me also... I'm going to log the projected points, too. That way we can see what it's trying to do. Now you can also do gameplay integration tests via blueprints, which is kind of cool. I feel like tests for games are really fucking hard to write. I already don't like writing tests. Thankfully, AI has actually gotten really good. Like in my day-to-day job, AI like writes most of my tests now, which is great. Nerds. Hell yeah. We are a group of proud nerds. Lord Meta. You know what? Lord Meta sounds like a nerd name, I'll be honest with you. Denic Dev, welcome in. What are you working on? We're working on procedural spawn locations. I'm working on filtering out invalid ones by doing some pathfinding. And I'm trying to debug that now. We're trying to debug that now. And let's do a log here. I want to know if this ever happens. Does this happen? Error, invalid spawn points. Filter invalid spawn points. Let's do another one here. So this is gonna be, let's do yellow here. Or no, we'll do blue. F color, blue. Blue. TYIM. Okay, okay. You're one of us. Do you use mox/stubs at Google? Yes. Try to use the real thing as much as possible, though. That is our guidance. So let's log this as like what, yellow or orange? What do you guys think? Yellow or orange for like a point that didn't get projected? Because I have red for like invalid. Orange. Yeah, we'll keep it at orange. I don't want that. We need this here. Put that there. And then if it fails, do endpoint. You look like a calm, reasonable person, do I? Okay, thank God. Thank God. Are you a calm, reasonable person? You know, I'd like to think so, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder after all. I am streaming on YouTube Shorts, so that's probably not a very reasonable... I'm streaming coding on YouTube Shorts. I don't know, how reasonable is that? Wait, is it still running? Okay, it's still running. Good, good, good. Okay. Procedural terrain, popping off. Let's see, once my character spawns, then the navigation starts. Once navigation finishes, per chunk, then we can, we'll start to get some daters. Okay. Nothing. Okay, there we go. There's our first one. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, those didn't get projected, and that's probably good. I should probably draw lines to which points they... I should probably draw lines as to what points they relate to. Yeah. Although it did, like, I don't know. I feel like the projection I was doing in blueprints was actually a little bit better. I mean, look how I was doing this in blueprints. Project point to navigation. I wonder if I should change the query extent. I was only doing 500 distance. Let's do that. Let's do 500 distance instead of spawn radius. Just 500. What language do you make games? Is it Java? No, so this is Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine uses C++, kind of their own flavor of C++, with a bunch of bells and whistles built on it. Let's make these ones smaller. We'll go 20 on these ones. And should I draw lines? I don't know, that seems like a lot. I could draw lines to these. Maybe I should. So we're gonna log the location. Let's do UEV log line segment, right? Isn't that one of them? Segment, there we go, that's what it is. And you want a segment start and end, I presume. So start, end is going to be this location, this one. What are your other what is it? Start, end, color. Okay, so you don't take a thickie. Okay. So we'll draw a line there. Also draw a line here, but color it orange. And do end point. Okay. Maybe this will be a little bit better. Maybe we'll get some better debug information here. I build mostly data-intensive applications at my job. Same. But I've always wanted to make games. I'm going to need to learn and try to make it a hobby. Yeah, that's what I did. It's a lot of fun. Is this HTML? Yeah. Good meme. That was a good meme. Okay, let's rerun it. Clear out. Look at this. It looks like what's that one game where you're like a dot and you consume all the other dots? Looks like that game. Okay, there it goes. Okay. Should be spawning shortly. There I am. There I go. There she goes. Okay, I need to wait for some terrain chunkies, some chunky boys to show up here. So navigation's still running. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's going. There's the navigation mesh. Okay, do we have any? No terrain chunk has finished navigation yet. There we go. Okay. Look at that nice little debug drawing. Look at that. Okay, so it did project one success. That is an invalid one. I would not want that to be a valid spawn point. I would not want that to be an invalid spawn point. Yeah, so it tried those. Yeah, those all look good. This one, that one could be valid. So I'm wondering if the query extent is what I should be paying attention to. So you can kind of see what's happening, right? Like here's the starting point, right? Red is the starting point. You know, pick a dot in each direction. Try to project it to the nav mesh. I guess there's probably a max distance it can project. Right, because then you see the blue ones are the ones that actually successfully got projected to the nav mesh. And then we do the pathfinding, it succeeds. PC configuration, I don't have that written down. I have a 7700X and a 3080 Ti, 64 gigs of RAM, Fuck ton of storage. What is this? Oh, didn't like, can I skip that? Okay. The vlogger. That doesn't look good. Okay, we can recover. Nice. So I think that actually for the most part worked, right? That one I definitely did not want. I think it's actually over culling. I think it's over culling. Like that one, we could have kept that one. That one would have been fine. I'm not too mad about it though. Let's look at a couple other chunks now that there's a lot. Okay, let's go over here. Why? Oh my God. See, this is gonna be, maybe I should require at least 2. Maybe I should require at least 2 to be successful. Because like that, yeah, so if I allow things to be projected like more liberally, then we're gonna get spawn points like this. That's not actually a valid spawn point. This one could actually be. That one could actually be. I mean, all in all, I'm not too upset about it. That one I'm kind of upset about. That one's bad. But you know, getting rid of these, you know, I guess like you'd never know from the perspective of this spawn point if it's connected to a greater nav mesh. Because technically it is. You could navigate up and around through here to the main nav mesh, and that's fine. Denik, do you bother about NPCs being able to slide jump down small ledges when there's no nav mesh is present? Oh, you mean like nav linking? Since your whole world's procedural, I guess you can't use nav links and stuff. I think I could, because you can just like, that's just a toggle. I've been meaning to play around with that and see how like performance intensive that is, right? If that's not too performance intensive, then I will consider using it. I do want like, I don't want the AI to be able to be cheesed. So I would like if there was some wiggle room on the nav mesh. Like that one's bad too. We shouldn't, that one should be cold. These ones are fine. I mean, this is we're on the side of a mountain that you can't really like, yeah, you can't really get down there. I mean, a player might be able to. But some of those are kind of bad. That's a good test mountain though. It's a good test chunk. We called that one. That's great. That's great. That is a good call. Good call. Oh, and then that one. Yeah. So maybe we need to, let's do 1,000. Maybe. I don't know. There's like, there's probably some sweet spot somewhere. It's probably some sweet spot. It's like, would I rather accidentally call points that are valid or accidentally leave invalid points? I think I would rather not leave the invalid points. I think I would rather not leave the invalid. Turn off nav, clear this out. Okay. Spawny spawn. What is this about? We're doing some game dev. We're making a game. This is a procedural terrain that we're looking at. Generating here. I'm working on calculating procedural spawn locations, and we're trying to filter out all the invalid ones. All the really shitty spawn locations. Because the nav mesh should be... hello? Hello? Who do you know here? Who do you know here? I think I found an imposter. That is some 0.5 Minecraft shit. Yeah. I've actually isolated this scenario. Like, I know where this is happening in the code. I don't know why. But the only reason it's showing up like this is because I actually ended up clamping the points to the bounds of the box, which they always should be based off the generation. But I found out, like, I was getting these chunks that were like, their points would just be so erratic, and like they would be massive. The points would be like in outer space. And so it would create these giant, you know, fucky meshes. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So this is that scenario, but I've clamped it to the bounds of the box. Kind of sus. Yeah, I agree. I don't know which one. Do you see the bug? Point to the bug. Can you help me find the bug? Oh, there's actually 2 chunks that are bad. Huh. That's weird that it happened across 2 chunks. To where they actually connect. That is so fucking weird. Anyways, back to our back to this thing. Oh, I accidentally picked the same one. Well, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, it called all of these now. When I did 1,000. It's so laggy. That one still didn't. Those ones are good. Those ones are good. I mean, again, these are all kind of shitty spawns, so I'm not super mad about like all of those getting fucksy wuxied, you know. Okay, that one, got rid of that one. That's good. Maybe okay. Let's do this. Let's do at least 2. At least 2. And actually, well, and we're gonna do a performance trace too. We're gonna do performance trace too. Okay, so let's make a counter in 32. Num success equals 2. Num required or num required should equal to 0. Okay, so num success plus, and then we'll just do if num success greater than num required, greater than or equal to num required. We can break. And that's a break. And break. Ready, break. Okay. What type of game is it? I'm going for RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. Is what I'm going for. So I'm thinking of something like Vanilla WoW plus something like RimWorld plus something like Hades. If I had to pick other games to put names on, probably also a lot of Legend of Zelda influence there, and also a lot of Legend of Civilization as well. Is there any go-to PCG docs I need to read? I broke a bunch of shit in my 5.6 project having to do with player systems. Focusing on environment. Yeah, is there any go-to PCG docs I need to read? I don't know. I don't think that they're that great. I think there's more so just some good tutorials that you can watch. I think they did the Electric Dreams demo, and it's on old PCG, so there's a lot of like old nodes and stuff. But they did the Electric Dreams one is like the one video I looked at that like it is kind of complicated, but it starts to make you think in terms of what you can do in PCG, and then it's all just about like figuring out how to get those things accomplished. But like for the most part, like the nodes you're going to want to know about are surface sampler. Surface sampler samples a bunch of points on a surface, but you need to connect something in here. So you can do like a world hit query, world hit ray query. This is what I used to use when I was using collision. But you can set ray parameters, so you just cast straight down essentially, and then here you specify like points per square meter, and then this gives you just like a bunch of random points, which is effectively what I've rebuilt that, but in my own node. And so you'll get like a bunch of points, and they'll have a bunch of like random density values on it, right? And so that'll just have like that, and the random density values are attribute noise. There's spatial noise and attribute noise. Attribute noise Attribute noise is your like white noise just pure random. Every node is pure random. And so if you just want to cut down on the number of points, you just do a density filter on that, right? Density filter on that, pass in whatever points into there. Density filter, you can cut it down. You can play with those settings there. Now, if you want spatial noise, that will make it like a cloudy like texture and stuff like that. Some keybinds you'll want to know. D, Control Alt D is debug. That'll show you the points in the world. You can enable and disable it as well. And then A is how you inspect the values that'll show up here. So those are like the basics. And spatial noise will be for things like, you know, if you want to put like a splattering of like the trees are all just basically spatial noise, right? It's just all spatial noise. And then I take some, I take 0.5 to 1, you know. Transform points is good if you want to do like, you'll want to have like random offset and rotation. Hey, Mr. Famous. Everybody say hello to Mr. Famous. And so transform points, you can just assign like a random min and max rotation, scale, offset, you know. Those are the basics. And then static mesh spawner is how you actually spawn things. So after you've got all the points you want, plug them into here, and then you can start adding like your mesh entries here and it'll randomly select. So those are like the basics. Those are the basics. Nister, hello. I'm trying to do this crazy shit with PCG. I just hate the foliage layer. BS. So we go in PCG. Yeah, spawn some nanite foliage. Easy peasy. Here's mine. I do a slope filter. Normal to density can give you the. It puts the. It does like a dot product on the rotation of the point, which should be, if you've used the sampler that I showed you, they should be aligned to the terrain. And so you do normal to density, and then you can density filter on that, and that's how you do a slope filter. So super easy if you don't want grass like on the sides of your cliffs and stuff like that. And you can do a difference here for all your other points if you don't want to spawn foliage underneath tree trunks and rocks and shit. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. Those are the basics. But the Electric Dreams demo does some really cool stuff. Some things I plan to do as well. Like their entire terrain in the Electric Dreams demo is just made out of static meshes for the most part. Like all the foreground terrain, static meshes. And all those static meshes are nanite spawned from PCG. And what they did is like they would create a spline. And then they would sample a bunch of points, you know, in a grid on that spline. And then they would do a spline distance to density. And so what you would see is like you'd build it was a spline where the points are lighter the closer they are to the spline. And they're darker the farther away they get from the spline. And then what he did was he actually scooted them down in the world based on their density. And it created a riverbed. It created like this really nice, like, it looked like the river had carved through the terrain. I was like, oh dude, that is so fucking cool. It's like so easy, such an easy concept to do, right? When you have the PCG tools. But it's like, I never would have thought of doing something like that. And then, you know, they show you how to do that. It's like, oh dude, that's so powerful. So powerful. And then of course you can use like you can actually get the edges of the riverbeds too, with like the lowest points. Just get the lowest density points, the farthest ones away, and you can spawn things along the side of the riverbed as well. So yeah, super cool stuff they did there. Super cool. Anyways, where the hell was I? Oh, did we do this multiple times? Interesting. Oh yeah, because it regenerated. Okay. Let's do this. So the navigation, I guess, regenerates, and I re-hit this, which is fine. But I definitely don't want to do this over and over again because this is probably an expensive thing. Did we run live coding on this? Well, we need to now anyway. You can make a spline find its own route based on slope and other factors, so it feels natural. Yeah, if you're I guess if you're like trying to make the spline match up with the terrain, that does sound cool. Marcus, hello, welcome, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome in. Okay, let's rerun this. We've done enough gushing over PCG. It does sound cool. What I'm gonna do, what I had an idea for, I'll show you once I get my guy spawn, but there's a pathfinding node in PCG now. It just came out with 5.6, which is super exciting. Because what I have here, these white dots are zone entrance chunks, and so I do mountains around the border of every zone. And so the only way to get from this zone to this zone without like deforming the terrain or building stairs or anything would be to walk through this chunk right here. There's a break in the mountains right where that white dot is. Now let me find a good example zone. This one's pretty good. So take this blue zone here. This blue zone is aptly named the Seventh Circle of Hell. It's connected to the Astral Sea, Wyvern's Peak, and Void Rift. Now there are 3 entrances in this zone. Now with the pathfinding node in PCG, what I'm planning to do, I'm going to pathfind from the center of this terrain chunk to the center of that terrain chunk. And then I'm going to make a spline, just sample some points along the spline, random offset it, and then you can make just like, I can spawn like a little pathway, right? I can spawn like a little pathway onto the terrain. I can do that whole thing that I just said with the riverbed where I can sink it into the terrain a little bit, you know, or I can even like do a difference on that spline to make sure that like there's no trees in the way or something like that. So just like a little dirt path. It'll be really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. Is it procedural generation? Yes, entirely procedurally generated. Finally a stream about game dev. Yeah, welcome in. Welcome in, guys. You have found a stream about game dev. What we're trying to do now is we're trying to come up with some procedural spawn locations. And we're trying to filter out the bad actors, right? And so, yeah, that one would not have been a valid spawn point. So we do like a bunch of pathfinding. So there's only 1 success there. And like, yeah, before that would have returned successfully. Congrats on sticking with it and finding a good community. Thank you. Well, thank you for being a good community. Thank you for finding me. What noise method is used for the cave? So I combine a height map with 3D noise and then connect them with kind of a custom marching cubes. So this is just some 3D like gradient noise, Perlin simplex noise. Chat is a reflection of the streamer. Is that why? Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Now actually only one of those was successful. I thought I required 2. I changed it to require 2 successful pathfinds. Did it still? Hang on, let me read my own code again here. Num success. Greater than or equal to num required. We can break out of the directions for loop. I wonder if I should still try and, I mean, if it doesn't get projected on, if the point doesn't get projected onto the nav mesh, which are the orange ones, there's no way I can find a path to it, right? Like there's no way that would return successful. But then why did this one? Why did you? Why did you? Because I'm supposed to require 2 successes. And did I not sample? There's no points, well, it's probably a different terrain chunk, actually. Let's look at a different example. Okay, oh, we got a little cave spawn there, nice. I'm purposefully not choosing spawn points in the caves. That's going to be a separate set of spawns. This is just like surface spawns. I'm surprised that I wasn't able to project any of those. Yeah, I wonder if I should, let me play around with that query extent. I think that can maybe help. Let me read what that actually does. I love this comment, to do document. Yeah, me too. Me too. extent, and then we also have nav agent properties, which is just a 0 vector. I love every detail of every game for this reason. Trees, mountains, it said thank you for the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Do you do that in a VM? A virtual machine? What do you mean by VM? I'm not using virtual machines at all. Gandalf. Gandalf, no! Is valid extent. Otherwise, default query extent, which is what? What do you get set to? 50? 50-50 maybe? Yeah. Okay. So what is the, what I need to see what this actually gets used for. Of course, there's like 17 goddamn functions. Wonderful, wonderful. I guess there's different nav datas, right? Where's the implementation method? Oh, I hate this so much. Oh, I hate object-oriented programming so much. Where's the implementation? Okay, I'm just gonna guess that the extent does what I think it does. Do cowboys exist in your world? They do on my side of the earth. Maybe not from your schools. That's some deep cut lore there. And swords. Swords are also deep cut lore. Yes, I meant virtually. Thank you for streaming, man. I love watching. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for stopping by. Greetings from Germany. Ah, guten Tag, mein Freund. Ich habe ein großes Fans, ja. Is this UE? It is. I like OOP. I mean, it has its uses, right? But it's just like, sometimes when you overuse all the solid principles in OOP, it's just like it's like so complicated for like what? Like what are we doing? Like it makes it so hard to go back through and read the code if you weren't the one who wrote it. Do you like that? Do you like that little German joke? I took like 3 years of German in high school. I did progressively worse in every single year. Your German is not bad? Oh, that's the only thing I know how to say. That's the only thing. What are you coding? Oh, we're coding a video game. I'm trying to figure out, give me an extent here. F vector, do query, extent, 1,000, sure, why not? That seems kind of big. If we were just doing 50 before, let's just do, you like, bro? I'm also studying how to use Unreal. Give a sub. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for the info too. I'm pretty new. Yeah, happy to give you pointers if you're wondering specifics. You know, a lot of people come in and ask, you know, general questions about how to get started, and to that I have to respond with a general answer, which is not super helpful. But Willie Draws, thank you for the follow. We're on Twitch. Thank you. Welcome in. And I wonder German is hard as hell. Yeah, when we started getting into like the genitive and accusative cases and stuff like that, where it's like every word changes in every sentence, the words are not the same. That's when I started sucking. That's when I started sucking. Okay, 1,000 seems like a lot. Let's just do 500. No, we'll do 200. 200, so we're basically doing times 4. And then maybe I can do a UE. Can I vlog? Is there a box vlog? There is. Hell yeah. Okay, give me that. Wow. It actually yeah, that's actually perfect. Thank you, AI. Red? We can do green. Oh no, well the nav mesh is green. Do blue. Do blue because that's what we're actually extenting. Okay. So we'll see if that gives us better nav mesh projection on these boys. How you get started isn't the hard part of UE dev. How you overcome the intermediary hump is actually much harder to answer. Yeah, I think I feel similarly. Because it's more so like, how do you continue through the grind, right? Like, there's just so much to fucking learn, especially as a solo dev. There's just so much to learn. It's really just like, how do you get yourself to keep coming back every day, I think is the hard part, right? Okay, let's regen. And I just truly love it. I enjoy all the time when I'm game deving. If I got some people to hang out with, even better. Is this Unity? No, this is Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine. Vector's my mortal enemy. Quaternions are my mortal enemy. What's your Twitch? My drawing on Twitch. Should be in my profile. Link to it. What language? It'll be C++. Unreal Engine uses C++. Came from India to Poland, ended up to work for a US company. Not Fang, but kind of close to it. Well, congrats. Good job on the job. Dude, I can't wait to see your process. Subscribe and come back in the future. Have a great day. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. I really want YouTube sub alerts, but none of the built-in streaming tools seem to have that built in. So I would like to, like, I have the Twitch follow alerts, but I don't have the YouTube sub alerts, which I would like. So I can welcome people in when they sub. But thank you, Celeste. Thank you, thank you. Okay, do we have some schmeckles here? We do. Okay. How long have I been coding? Oh. How long have I been coding? Like fucking... That box is not very big, is it? Oh, I need to draw that around each point, don't I? Okay, I don't like that debug drawing anymore. It's kind of a shitty... I didn't know it would be solid. I wanted like a wireframe. Oh, wire box. That'll work. Do we need to do that on each point projected, actually? I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this. We're not going to do that. But yeah, I've been coding since I was like 16, so like 14 years now. I don't know if I would call what I was doing at 16 coding. It was more so just like a kid just fucking slamming his face on the keyboard. Quaternions are devil worship, and you can't convince me otherwise. Okay, that one successfully... I think the box is probably the size that we're projecting, that we can project these little dots to. I drew it on the wrong spot, but what other points do we have? For the most part, that's good. Yeah, I would only really want to get rid of... Actually, I think I would want to get rid of that one. Oh, and it did. Okay, that's a red one. That's a red one. Okay, that one looks good. Do another example here. Okay, a mostly flat chunk. So I guess what I'm looking for here is for like none of these to be called. And I can't actually see very well. Yeah, let's rerun this. I can't actually fucking see the points now. I'm gonna rerun that. Okay. There I go. Any advice to newbies to UE or just coding in general? Nothing super specific. Just, you know, it's really just learning how to teach yourself, you know? Learning how to break problems down into their smallest, simplest form, and then solve all the small problems and connect it together. And a lot of Google searching. A lot of Google searching. Okay, so there's really only one point. What on earth? New here, what's this? It's a video game I'm working on. The video game I'm building. Why is there only one? Why is there only one there? It's weird. Are all of them like that? No, that chunk seemed weird. Yeah, that's a... Okay, that one actually could have been valid. And that actually would have been kind of cool spawn, because he would have been, like, walking around in the cave a little bit there. What engine? Unreal Engine. Yeah, so that one didn't get projected. You know what I should do? Do you use blueprints? Yeah, a little bit. Mostly C++ though. Does that generation run on the GPU or CPU? I have some things that run on the GPU. I have 3 different compute shaders for the terrain gen that run on the GPU. But all the spawning and stuff like that happens on the... all the trees and all that happens on the CPU. Knowing how to ask the question and understanding what you don't understand so you can dig away at it. Yeah. Asking the right question is important. But I'm wondering if I should, instead of just doing flat... because I have the rotation on the point. I'm wondering if I should rotate... but what on earth happened here? Dewar, thank you for the follow. Welcome. I don't know why that was angry at me. Well, good luck with the project. I'll pop in future theme. Thank you. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate that. But I think I need to... yeah, so let's take the directions and actually rotate them by the spawn transform rotation. I can do that, right? Good point. So direction. Okay, let's do this. Equals spawn. So these should be aligned to the ground. Spawn transform. Get rotation. Rotate vector direction. Is that going to align them the way I think? We'll tune in to find out. Let's try that. That may give me a better projection. And I think I need... let's rebuild. We're going to rebuild the editor here. I think that'll give me better success at projecting without having to get like a super large query extent. What language is this? This is C++. Unreal Engine C++, so... CPP with a lot of extra bells and whistles built on top of it, like garbage collection. They have a whole reflection system so that I can work with blueprints and stuff. Oh, I see the issue. I see why that was an issue. I accidentally typed that. Okay. Java? No, C++. You know, I kind of get... oh, that's wrong. I kind of get why you would think this looks like Java, because everything is Pascal cased. I get that. There are CPP files up here, though. The people that come in here and ask, is this Python? I'm like, have you ever seen Python? That is snake case, my dude. But not that I'm annoyed at anyone asking by any means. I just think it's funny. Is this HTML? Someone already made that joke, but that is a good joke. Is this HTML? Yeah, basically. Crafted terrains. Welcome in. Did you manage to fix that bug of the enemy NPC just teleporting with your custom nav? Well, custom movement component. Trying to remember. I think so. I don't remember exactly. I mean, I don't think I just left that. What was I working on? Like the velocity processor or something? Yeah, I think I did. Pretty sure I did. If I think I know what you're talking about. If I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. So yes, I did. Where's the... hang on, where'd the vlogger go? I don't know how it ended up on that screen. Turns out I just sucked at writing acceleration and deceleration. And the actual issue was, I'm remembering it now. I was using the wrong delta time, because I have to track delta time on those entities manually. Like, I can't just use world delta time, because they tick in the background. So their tick rate is just depending on how fast the background threads run it, which is not necessarily every frame. And so I was editing velocity in 2 different processors, and I was using the same my own delta time for each of those, and I needed to track delta time for each processor rather than just for one processor. So once I applied the right delta time, then they stopped, you know, getting stuck or, you know, just fucking shooting off the edge of the map. Okay, give me fuel, give me fire. You're... Go away. Go away, there we go. Okay. Okay, you're really annoying. The vlogger is really annoying. Oh my god, please stop. Just vlog. That's all you have to do, just vlog. Okay, so I did... Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Okay, so they are rotated. I think they're rotated the wrong way. Yeah, so the normal would be pointing outwards. So I need like 90 degrees from the normal. That one, how many are there? 2 points there? I think there's 2 points on top of each other there for some reason. That one did get projected. Okay, so I think the rotation, that one, right? Like, come on now, that's a valid, boy. Come on. Yeah, I think I need 90 degrees or something. I need the tangent, right? I need the tangent direction. Make from Euler. Pocket Oracle, welcome in. Thank you. Plus tangential to normal. Okay, I hate rotation. Oh, I hate it so much. How do I get the I mean, I can just do like a, is it a cross product? Well, no, I would need the other angle. I mean, can't I just rotate this by 90 degrees? I guess I don't know which 90 degrees it needs to be, though. That's the issue. Yeah, that might be a mobile thing, Cog. Okay, let me pop open let me pop open a little Copilot chat here. Okay, add context to this file. Yeah. If I have a rotation that represents a normal of a point on terrain, how do I get the tangent? We're vibe coding now, boys. Yeah, it popped up for me in my own chat. Like, it wanted me to congratulate myself, which just felt like I was playing with myself at that point. I vibe coded my first CL entirely at Google the other day. We're here now. This is the future. Okay, what do we got here? You can calculate the cross product of the normal vector and an arbitrary non-parallel vector, such as the world's up vector. Thank you for telling me the error. I'm just catching strays from the fucking, it's like, hey, by the way, you have a fucking error too. I'm like, okay, I realize that. I'm asking you a question. I'm getting roasted by the fucking AI here. This assumes the rotator's x-axis points along the normal. We can take the cross products. Is nearly parallel. Okay. All right. This is nearly parallel. We're not going to handle edge cases. We're not going to do that. What you doing? I'm trying to work on filtering out invalid spawn points, procedural selected spawn points, by doing pathfinding queries in different directions of the point. So like here's one that got filtered out, it's red. And the orange points are like the randomly selected points. Now they should be getting projected to the nav mesh. That's what when they're blue, that means they successfully got projected to the nav mesh. And it's green because it found at least 2 successful path finds. So that's a valid spawn point. There's another valid spawn point. This one did not get projected to the nav mesh, so it tried the other ones. Got 2 other ones, so it's valid. And I'm just trying to use the rotation of the point because it should be aligned to the landscape, to rather than just having a flat, northeast southwest direction to query in. I instead want to use the tangent. So I'm trying to do the math for that right now. AI do be quite good at math. Really good at writing comments on fucking everything though, so. Okay, wait a second. Tangent vector. Dot rotation. Dot rotate vector direction. Okay. I think that's what I want. We'll see how that looks. How are the chunks defined? Are they 3D array of booleans to know what's air and what's not, or something else? Something completely else. The terrain chunks are just defined by a vector that is their 3D coordinate. And so here's like the size of a terrain chunk, right? This is x equals 1, y equals 1, z equals 1. So this is terrain chunk 110. And then I generate a height map for it. And I generate some 3D noise for it. And then I use a custom marching cubes compute shader to connect them together. So there's all the verts. It's super laggy. Let's turn off the nav mesh. Not a whole lot better, honestly. Not a whole lot better. But yeah, I just get there. It's all just like vector and triangle data. So it's vertex, vertices. It's just a bunch of vectors, and then a bunch of indices as to the order of how those vectors connect. And with that, I can do a lot. Okay, the nav mesh did not like me there. So yeah, it's not what you're talking about is something that's super voxel based. And usually it's not a Boolean, but it's a density value. They would store a density value for every vector that they have in the world. And if it's 0, that would be like empty space. And if it's something like, 0.1 or 0.2, then that would mean that there is, it's half empty, half solid. And if it's 1, it's fully solid, fully underground. I don't do that because that's extra data that I don't actually need. Like, I don't actually need to know. I'm trying to save on memory, so I'm only storing the vertices that are actually shown, not the all of the voxels of the terrain chunk. Okay. Start you. Let's run. So like I don't need to know like what the value of all these, you know, this empty space that I am in is. I don't care about that. The only time I'll care about that is when the player deforms the terrain, when they dig into the terrain, and then I just calculate that on the fly. So I do have another algorithm that runs and defines like the vertex data, like what the material is, what the physical material of that terrain is, which is just an ID. It's two IDs, like an A and a B, and then an alpha value for how much A to B. And then that helps me with the blending from one vert. So like if I look here, if I turn on the verts and oh god, this is gonna be so laggy. Generate and show vertex data. Let's pause. But you see how this one is green, this one is brown, and this one is brown. I know, and I can know how green, like this green is actually slightly darker. So there's actually not as much green here. There's not as much grass here, right? So all that information goes to the shader to calculate the textures. And then I also use it for footstep sounds. So I can do a line trace against my triangle and vertex bounding volume hierarchy spatially stored data without actually needing collision turned on or anything. And I can just get the IDs of the vertex that I'm on. Or I can also do I use barycentric coordinates to actually do an interpolation between the three. And so I actually can kind of approximate whatever the material is doing. So like it should be grass up, even though like this is the grass point, this is the dirt point. Like when I'm walking on it and doing line traces against it, I don't actually know like where it starts and ends. And like right here, does this sound like dirt or does this sound like grass, right? That's what I use like the barycentric coordinate interpolation for. Which barycentric coordinates are just a way to like define a triangle, right? They're just coordinates on a triangle, really. Are those duplicated vertices near each other intended? Yeah, it's just kind of a side effect of connecting the height map and the 3D noise. And that's when I say it's like not inherent, and it's not inherently voxelized. These are the scenarios that I'm talking about right here. So that, yeah, that doesn't line up with a voxel, nor would that, I don't think. And so that's why like where they connect, it looks a little strange. But I have some ideas on how to fix that. But it's not super important. It's not super important to me right now. But yeah, and when you deform the terrain, it'll just do, it's not going to like snap to any voxel or anything. It's just going to do it based on whatever the stats of your pickaxe are and whatever the material is that you're hitting. And I'll have to do some fun math for that. Fun math, yeah. Do 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 do. Log and nav tree. There we go. Okay, that chunk just got disappeared, so let's try a different one. Shovel or not? I think there will be some, I don't know, like, because like a lot of games have it's either like a shovel or like a hoe that you can use to like smooth terrain and stuff like that. A lot of games just use pickaxe for shovel jobs. I think I would like a shovel because like in Valheim you have the hoe, which can like smooth the ground. And I think I will need something like that, especially with how some of these edges turn out sometimes. Okay, so this did not rotate it at all. It is still completely flat. So those are like completely wrong. I did completely wrong. But is the mine bit's going to be stored? Won't reset if it gets unloaded? Yeah, right. It'll be saved. That'll be serialized information. And right now I just serialized the whole chunk, so I don't even need to rerun the algorithm if I don't want to. Yeah, disk space is not really a concern for me. Memory is, I think, the biggest concern for me. So I do a lot of caching on the disk, so. Okay, yeah, this normalization didn't work. Do I just need to add? Am I making this way too hard? I think, do I just need to add? Let's just go direction plus normal rotation dot vector. I think I just made that way too hard for me. The rake is the hoe in Enshrouded, and arguably better than Valheim's implementation in quite a few ways. Yeah, I didn't get super far in Enshrouded. It didn't hook me, didn't grab me. But I do, I remember I talked to the dev one time in some other streamers chat when I was watching it. And he built his own engine for that, which I admire. Well, the thing I hated was how the terrain resets every night, you know? Another thing I hated was how the base building, it didn't feel like it mattered, really. Because not like your base was never in any danger or anything. Nothing ever attacked your base, and the NPCs were literally just like building objects that you placed in your base. And so it just felt a little and those are the parts that I really want in a game. And so I know it is a fun game outside of that, but those are the pieces that are like important to me. And so that did turn me off a little bit. I think that did lead to some of my unenjoyment. Yeah, I think that's right. So I think I was just making it way too hard for myself. Yes, sir. Yes, sirree. Yeah, that looks better. What? Maybe not, because those three don't look correct. And then that one. Okay, maybe not. Okay, yeah. I don't think that was correct. Oh, I hate rotational math so much. Do I need to normalize it? It's probably already normalized, right? It has to be. I have no idea what this is doing. Like, this is a foreign language to me. I don't think that's gonna fix it, but we'll try just in case. Okay, let's wait for a terrain chunk to finish here. Alright, let me actually do some tracing here. So we'll see how long this takes on the background thread. See how crazy it is. Yeah, those don't look right. Those are not in the right directions. Okay, I just want a few more of these to get done. Okay, there we go. So I just wanted to see. Yeah, that's not exactly what you would call a good-looking graph. What's the scope thing I'm looking for? Nav. Finish generating, sure, sure. God, the chunk surface sampler took 300 fucking milliseconds. Oh my god. That runs so fast. Look how fast that pathfinding runs. I did not realize that. That is so fast. I can do like a million. I can do like a million. For all of the spawn points in this terrain chunk, it took 600 microseconds. Oh, easy. That's pennies compared to what it gives me. I guess I should also check that there are spawn points as well, so I'm not just kicking off to a background thread to do nothing. Okay, let's figure out how to actually do what I want to do here. To catch a little of the Schedule 1 dev stream. He's using Unity for that, which I kind of didn't expect. Really? Why wouldn't you expect that? It kind of looks like it might be a Unity game. But yeah, crazy success those devs had. And that's just proof, like, you don't need a game that looks visually impressive, right? If you make a fun game, like, people will play it. Doesn't matter what it fucking looks like. I keep having to remind myself that when I watch, like, Adder's, you know, Mortal Shell 2 trailer, and I'm sitting here with my shitty ass animations. Feeling like an imposter. Okay, yeah, so we can't just add, right? We can't just add. Okay, so I have a vector. Okay, so let me try again. Let's hit me with Claude 3.7. Thinking. Add this file. Okay, so I have a spawn point transform that whose rotation is a normal of the terrain that it is on. I am sampling directions from that point. I would like the directions. I'm sampling, I'll say, north, east, south, west directions from the point. I would like the directions to be aligned to the terrain. Okay. Hit me. Thomas Brush's stream. He shipped many games, but he is such a lame programmer. Why? I don't know who that is. Why is he a lame programmer? He's also part of a team where we're stretching ourselves thin, trying to manage more things ourselves. Yeah. He's also got the creds. Okay, this is trying to do the same thing that Gemini gave me. Let's see if Claude did it better. Gemini had to like hack it together because I didn't actually have the my code actually working properly at that point. Okay, we'll try that. Thank you, Claude. Okay, clear out the vlogger. There she goes. There she goes again. Okay. One chunk done. Yeah, that's not right. That is not aligned to the terrain. Tangent X. Let me try like right vector. Because it seems like it might be just rotated the wrong way. So I'm just gonna try right vector. Or something. Okay, gotta rerun again. I should probably just have a button that can redo the you know what, let's do that real quick. That might make this faster to test. Filter invalid PCG spawn points. Now this may need to be protected now. I think it at least needs to be protected. U function. Call in editor. Okay, that way we can just call that whenever. Test. Once we've changed it, we don't need to regen the whole terrain now. Thomas does not understand basics of trigonometry. Hey, me neither. I don't have a classical training in math. Constantly inventing math laws by myself. But he is stubborn and half-decent artist. Well, I'm stubborn and a terrible artist, so I think he's better than me. Yeah, my math skills are not great. I only have a high school level of math, of pre-calc. And I don't really remember any of that, so like whatever you need to do to get the job done, you know? Okay. Let's try to get these rotations right. Is that Unity? Nope, Unreal Engine. Okay, turn off that guy. Okay, yeah, again, not right. Yeah, that's not the right direction. How on earth? Oh, how does rotation work? How does rotation work? This does not seem to align it properly. What is right vector? Is that 1, 0? 0, 1. Maybe that's what I need to do. Hang on, let's do that. Up vector. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to get these, I'm trying to sample points in like a northeast-south direction, but I want them to be aligned to, I want to take those directions and then align them to the terrain. And the point has the terrain normal on it, like those 4 points were originally just flat, and they got rotated the wrong way. Okay, so if I click on a terrain chunk, filter invalid spawn points. Which chunk is this? I need a selector here. It's 0, 0, 1. I think it worked. Yeah, it still is not doing it. We could make you a passable artist, it will be fine. If only it were that easy. Okay, let's see here. that didn't seem to align. Let me say, that seemed to rotate them the wrong way. The points are now like in the vertical direction. Try to ask ChatGPT, what the fuck does it look like I'm doing, bro? It's exactly what's happening right now. That we're treating the 2D directional vectors as if they should directly be, we need to create a proper local coordinate system on the terrain. Why is this so complicated? Why can't things just do what I want them to do? You know what I mean? Terrain normal, rotation. Transform the 2D direction into this rotated space. This keeps the direction. Sure. Fuck it. Fuck it. I don't see how this is going to be any different from what I've already tried on my own. Okay. Here comes. Ah, that looks promising. Okay, I'm just zooming off into the world. There we go. Okay, can you fucking stop? Jesus Christ, dude. I hate so much how the visual logger like just throws an absolute hissy fit when you try to log from the background thread. That's what I want. Yeah, okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Claude. Had to two-shot that one. And that one was correctly culled. Yeah, we don't want that one. That's a bad point. Those ones are all good. Okay, now let's do a fresh one, and we'll just do it fresh for all of them. Okay. All right, now we wait. Now we wait. We have one finish so far. The falling character. Yeah, he's just flailing his arms around. Okay, good. This is the one I was just looking at, so let's get some more examples. Oh my goodness. I know. It hurts. I know. Okay, that's good. Those are bad. We don't like those ones. Now that one, okay, that's not aligned properly. What the fuck? I should draw the normal too, shouldn't I? Just to like understand it better. That one looks like it did align properly too. Okay, so should I make the query extent a little bit bigger? Yeah, that one. Yeah, let's draw the arrow, I guess. Oh, let's draw the arrow. Okay. UE vlog arrow. Okay. Spawn location. Start and end, get rotation vector times 100. And we a 100 large arrow. That's fine. Make it blue. New viewers, apologies. What are you working on here? Yeah, no worry. Do not apologize for asking questions. That is totally okay. We're working on a video game. It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. This is the procedural terrain system we're looking at right now. I'm trying to come up with spawn points, which is what all these little dots represent. So we just have to, we're like iterating through the spawn points, and I'm trying to cull like the invalid ones by doing some pathfinding. And so the lines, I'm just like, I'm going northeast, southwest from each one of these points. I am applying the terrain normal, which is like the rotation of it basically, to those directions so that I can, those directions are now like aligned to the terrain better and not just northeast, southwest. And then I'm trying to project them onto the nav mesh, which is where, like, you know, say for instance, let me click off of that. For instance, this blue one, if it's blue, it got projected onto the nav mesh, right? So this orange one didn't. It was a little too far away from the nav mesh. But if it's blue, it gets projected. I do a path find to it, and if there's a valid path there, it's a valid point, right? And if it's not, if there's no valid path on any of the directions, then it's an invalid point, right? Because I don't want to spawn something right there. That would be a bad spawn point. But, you know, these spots are fine. Those spots are fine. I'm gonna rerun that because I wanna see the oh no, okay, we gotta rebuild. Because the rotations, I don't seem to be applying the rotations perfectly correctly to the directions. What language are you working with? Is it Python? It is C++. So this will be an Unreal Engine, which uses C++. Okay. Try that again. Okay, so we gotta wait for all this to go. It's all gonna generate. Go. Now we gotta wait for the nav mesh to finish generating. There it goes. And then once that's done for each chunk is gonna tell me about it, essentially. So now we just play the waiting game. Okay, we'll look at a chunk. Oh, I have to. There we go. Okay. God, I hate it so much. Go away, please. Okay. I think every single one of those. Oh, there was one invalid one, which should have been valid. Where's my arrow? Oh boy. Okay, I didn't do that correctly, did I? What are the params here? Segment start, segment end. It ain't right. It ain't right. I need to do like spawn location plus. I mean, I have the math for this. Hang on. Generic utils, get point along direction. Just do 100. 100 should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Wait, what changed? There we go. Dude, I hate that it lets me override these files. Because then it thinks things change. and they haven't. What's my memory at right now? Okay, we're good. So yeah, I'm working on an RPG, Colony Sim Roguelite. RPG will be something similar to how like vanilla WoW works, with combat, classes, talent trees, abilities. Definitely not an MMO, but I do hope to make it multiplayer on some level. And then I'm going to pair that with a Colony Sim type game, where you're actually like down in the world within the colony as kind of like the leader of a colony. And it's going to be based off a game, something like a RimWorld, you know, really depthy. You're basically going to attack, you have to build defenses, you have to kind of build up your colonists or your pawns, and they all have skills and stuff. You can send them to go chop trees, to mine, to grow things, that kind of stuff. And then I'll pair that with a roguelite as well. So that's what I'm working on, developing a game. We're waiting for a build to go off, which is taking quite some time. But yeah, we're doing some game dev in Unreal Engine, which is C++. I don't know why this build took so much longer. Any plans for chat integration so we can be the colonists? Yeah, that's a super fun part. And I know, like, I think RimWorld, they had like a founder pack or something, where if you like, it was some like pre-order, like if you pre-ordered it during development, you could pick a name to show up as a generated colonist for everybody. And that's how we got the name Humps. Like in RimWorld, one of your colonists can be, you can just like, it's a randomly rolled name, set of names, and you can just get the Humps name, which is a great name. But yeah, I think it'll be good to do things like that for some funding, just, you know, some fun things. And then yeah, some Twitch integration would be cool. Twitch or YouTube chat integration would be really cool. Even more so if there's like, if chat can kind of like control things a little bit, would be even more fun. But yeah, that's super far down the road. Like Ark Survival in Minecraft, I guess. Yeah, you could think of it that way. Or like Valheim, another example. Definitely have some survival light mechanics in it, for sure. Or maybe like Enshrouded, it is another example. Okay, can I please... Okay. How long have I been developing for? I've been working on this for 2.5 years as a hobby. That's when I started learning game dev, Unreal Engine, C++, procedural generation, all of the above. And it's just a hobby, so my actual career is as a software engineer. This is what I do. This is how I prefer to spend my free time. Okay, are my pointy guys... Okay, so the pointy guy is actually... Hang on, let me look at what I did there. Yeah, we're just getting the direct rotation on there. So is it already aligned? Oh, I had a misunderstanding about this. They are aligned to the terrain. Okay, that would be... So I was feeding the AI wrong information. I called it a normal. Well, no, okay, no, that one's aligned with the terrain as well. Okay, user error. Pointy guys, yeah, the pointy boys. Okay, so, okay, what the fuck here? So that one... So my rotations are actually wrong here, which is interesting. Is my chunk surface sampler inconsistent? Let me look at the triangles here. Maybe he's on a really weird triangle or something. Yeah, he's on like he's on like the very, very edge. Anyone play Zelda? Hell yeah, my dude. I hope to have procedural Zelda-like dungeons. I think that's like a huge goal for me. I think that would be really fucking cool. with some Zelda-like puzzles, I think that would just be like chef's kiss. Thank you, Slate, for being so annoying. God, dude. All because I'm doing it on a background thread. Like, that is the most annoying thing. Which one, though? I've played a lot of them. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, a little bit of Skyward Sword. What are these dots? Those are debug. Those are going to be spawn points, and we're doing a bunch of debug drawing to make sure my spawn point filtering. We're trying to filter for valid spawn points. I don't want to spawn guys on any section of the world that don't have like proper navigation. Is what I'm trying to avoid. Which Zelda is peak? Ocarina of Time, 100%. Play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think Tears of the Kingdom, I didn't like it. I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom. That's my hot take. Tears of the Kingdom kind of sucked, I'll be honest. Breath of the Wild, I really enjoyed. Tears of the Kingdom, super annoying. Super annoying. You've only played the NES Zelda Turning Cog? What have you been doing? Dude, I hate my life right now. My game is so fucking crashy. I never played Zelda before Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, man. You missed out on the Zelda-iest Zelda. Yeah, if you have a Switch, I mean, if you played Tears of the Kingdom, you should have a Switch. They have the Nintendo Online Plus expansion pack. If you get that, it's like a sub. It's like $80 for a year, I think. But they have all of the old Zeldas native, like they built emulators into the Switch. So I actually was playing Ocarina of Time on the Switch handheld. So super fucking fun. So if you guys haven't played it and you have a Switch, highly recommend that. They got tons and tons of old games, tons of old N64 games, Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance, fucking, I think they have some NES games as well, Super Nintendo games. The terrain itself still looks like the topographic outer skin of a massive creature. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe we're on the back of a giant lion turtle. From which country are you from, buddy? US. I am from the US. Okay, let's see. I mean, yeah, I'm not too upset about the cold ones here. I think I just have to accept that maybe I will overcall a little bit. Like, that one is probably fine. Well, that one's that's in a kind of shitty spot, like right behind a fucking tree. Not too mad at that. Give me a chunk I haven't looked at yet. Yes, I know. Please just let me do my thing. Zoom out here. I think all those got spawned. Ran through. That didn't sound right. It's always a turtle, even in anime. I know, right? Nah, don't let the creature be basic. That's a lion turtle. It's not basic. Bro, how did that not get projected to the nav mesh? Come on. Come on. Should I increase the query extent? Maybe. Cool, okay, bye-bye. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, okay, so I think maybe 200, maybe let's take it up to 500 and see what happens with that one. I can rerun it for just that one chunk. Okay, yeah, grab me this chunk. Yeah, I know. Okay, now it got validated there. Let me look at, ooh, nice. Called that one. Good call, good job. Good. Good. Being called buddy at the gym hurts me. It stays with me for days. Yeah, the condescending buddy. Hey, don't hurt yourself there, buddy. Yeah, I feel that. That's why I work out at home. Let me go to this chunk. I think you're you, yeah. Yeah, okay, so that one, okay, so this is interesting because it did project these points onto the nav mesh, but it couldn't find paths to them, so that's a good test. That's a good verification. This one now is valid, which is good. Maybe I should also project the starting point onto the nav mesh, but they should be close enough that it doesn't matter a whole lot. See, there's 3 projections as well now. Still called it. Same with that one. All 4 of those got projected. Still called it. Very nice. Very nice. We're looking good. Give me this tall. Give me this tall guy. 2 -2 1. Run your thingy. Is this you? Yeah, that's you. Okay. Oh, is the nav mesh not out here yet? How did you run? Oh, I think it's bugged. Sometimes the display doesn't like update. Okay. Yeah, these don't look too bad. I mean, that one probably could have been fine. There's probably a little tiny nav island there. Now, these ones, I would be curious to see. Let me... Actually, I do kind of want to check this out. Let me do this. Can't I, like, just... I can, like, change something, right? Right. Let's do like that. There we go. Okay, yeah, there is paths. Photosynthesis. Thank you for the quick fact there. Radiosynthesis is energy from radiation. You sure it's not energy from a radio? Okay, yeah, these are looking good. Are you trying to give me your energy? Give me this chunk. Yeah, I mean, I think they're looking pretty good, guys. I think we're looking pretty good on here. Ah, that one's bad. That one's bad. Rip. Okay. This is what I was worried about. Okay, so is 500 too much? I'm more of a Piccolo guy. Piccolo was my dude. Yeah, that one just... God damn it, there just happened to be some nav meshes there. How do I feel about UE5.6? It's great. Great so far. A lot of new stuff that is super helpful. They actually ended up... so I had to write some of my own state tree stuff because I wasn't happy with how it was working. And like 3 of the things that I wrote to like fix the state tree, they actually ended up implementing. It was like they looked at my code and they're like, oh my fucking god, what is this guy doing? We have to do it ourselves. Yeah, 5.6 added some new stuff that's nice. Some new PCG nodes that are nice. Performance improvements from what I've heard. Yeah, what am I doing with this guy? What am I doing with this? I should not have, am I doing too big of a query extent now? Am I doing too big of a query extent? If I take that back down, let's go 250. That probably fixes the issue. If I go back down to 250. Also, do I need to go 1000? Bro, I would always send the crash reports. It's like send and restart. And it would be like a crash from my own code and I would know it. Still send it to him. Still would send it to him. What? You only have one. Why are you green? Any plans for massive underground caverns and caves? I mean like this? Other than just the caves players can inhabit? I do want like some underground dungeons and stuff like that. But yeah, we do have massive caves. I would say this one's pretty... I'm not rendering a whole lot. There's more down there. I'm just not rendering it right now. And this should not be that way. There should just not be a straight line of rock there. I messed up my vertex data generator somehow. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, there's caves. That did not get rid of the point that it should have gotten rid of. You only had one valid path found. How would that even happen? How would that... Num success equals 0. If we project point to navigate... Yeah, we only do the pathfinding if it's not partial and is successful. Why? Why? Num success? It drew all of them as orange. Like how? It doesn't make any sense. I could do 3 successful path finds. It's actually quite cheap. It's a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be. So I could do 3 successful path finds, but I have a feeling that's going to get rid of a lot of the points I want to keep. I don't know. Do I just admit? Do I just accept that? Okay, that's good. 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 Yeah, getting rid of those 3 is good. What are those points? Spawn points? Yes. Yes. The debug drawings for the spawn points. Oh, it spawned one way down in here, too. Yeah, I kind of want to, know of any wizard level devs or coders you look up to? I don't really have any idols, to be honest with you. I don't... That's not because I think of myself highly or anything. I just don't really idolize anyone, to be honest. But no, not really. Yeah, so this has 3 oranges, but it returned successful. It has 4 oranges, actually. Prismatica is the only wizard I know. Yeah, there's a good example. Prismatica dev on YouTube and Twitch. He's a shader god. Shader wizard. Yeah, I kind of want to like reserve that noise for like caves. Yeah, idol culture is lame, but I wish my brain worked at the same level as Charlie. Yeah, I wish I had his knowledge. His material graph knowledge. Dude thinks in 5D, yeah. Yeah, he does. Oh, good old Charles. Out there in the Australian bush just making games. Okay. I mean, I think this is good for now. I don't need to, like, just fucking make this perfect right now. I do kind of want to, like... I feel like this should be cave noise. Or cave spawns, you know? Because that feels a little... Because, like, what I'm going to spawn here is going to be completely different from what I would want to spawn in there. So I may want to do, like... I may want to... Go back to the spawn def. So I have require surface here, and technically that is a surface point. But I wonder if I should, like, make an enum for, like, modes or something. Why didn't you auto-generate? There you go. E... point sample mode. And so yeah, sure, PSM, we'll go surface. Oh, first of all, it's just PSM any point, surface, PSM underground, PSM, and then height map would be a specific other one, and that's what I think I would want to use is the height map one. Don't spawn that. Wood Dragon, hello, welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, because technically that is a there's just evidence to my own line trace system working, because it missed the triangles on there, went straight there, which is good. Good that it's working. But yeah, I think I would maybe want to only do height map verts, which would be a little bit complicated from the PCG graph. I guess I would need to add that as a part of the chunk surface sampler. What kind of game is this? It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain. And so this is the procedural terrain. One such seed of many that got generated. We're working on spawn points, coming up with procedural spawn points for just like background spawns. And we're trying to filter them out, doing some pathfinding and stuff. And I saw this point. I'm supposed to be culling these to only be on the surface, and I am. But technically that point is on the surface based on my own definition. By doing a, I have to store the terrain data in a bounding volume hierarchy, spatial data structure, and then I have to do a line trace against that. Like my own kind of line trace, using just math and logic. So yeah, that returned that, and I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I don't think I would want that for the spawns, because I think what I would want to do in there is yeah, I think there's actually multiple modes. So there's like height map, underground. There's also surface and not surface. So there's actually that many types. And the chunk surface sampler really only handles it only handles these two. Or I guess it handles these three. Underground and height map are not handled. How difficult would that be? Let me think about this. How is Unreal? Unreal's nice. Unreal is nice. Let me think. So I am getting the interpolated height of the XY. I guess I can just check if they're equal here. So it actually probably wouldn't be too bad. Can I just check that? Let me read this real quick. What am I doing? LOD, local grid size, height map, local point on triangle. This is the sampled point. Local height map Z, world height map Z. And where's the point. Is this in world space? No, it's the barycentric coordinates. Okay. There's the world space point. Start plus height tolerance. Okay, so I think I would just check if, still want to do the line trace, but maybe this may actually be really easy. So if I can just start dot equals, not start, but like, let's grab, hang on, grab me this. What do I want to name this? This is like a projected XY projected to height map is what that is. I'll say point XY projected to height map is really what that is. That's what that represents. So point XY projected to height map, we add the height tolerance there just for the start point. The end point lowers Z bound. So yeah, I just want to check if like this, or rather we'll just do world space point dot equals with some tolerance to the projected to height map point. And if this is within 1 Schmeckel, if that's within 1 unreal Schmeckel, then I think we can consider that on the height map, right? I think we can consider that on the height map because I do store them separately and the 3D noise punched through the height map right here. So the projected to height map point is going to be well off there. Actually, I think this won't be too bad. I will need an additional attribute though. Let's create that. Is on surface, is on height map attribute. Default value false, is on height map. Wonderful. Wonderful. And we'll just do the same thing. Beautiful. New point meta. Oh, there's a metadata entry here. Hang on. FPCG point has a metadata entry. I was looking for that. I was looking for that. Get value. Point. Oh, yeah, because I don't have the point. Okay, well, I hope that's right. I hope that's right. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. Okay, so I do have is on height map, I think. Let's do a test. Let's do a test of that. I'm going to rebuild. And I'm going to run to the bathroom. Are you using Unity? Nope, this is Unreal Engine. But I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick while that builds. And I'll be back to test if we have height map points or not. BRB. All right, let's stand for a little bit here. I'm back. Dog is no PP now. Okay. So let's do a testy test. Let's just run the world. And I'm gonna need to write some PCG, aren't I? Yes, sirree. Okay, just gonna let that finish. We're gonna hop into the graph. Oh, that just ruined everything. Wait, why did that ruin everything? Uh-oh, I broke it. I ruined it. Why did that ruin it so much? What did I do that I shouldn't have? I didn't mean to do that. You can close that for now. I think I'm done with you. Fucking done with you. It was this change? World space point XY, world height map Z. Oh, and I added height tolerance to the whole thing. Yeah, oopsies. Oopsies, okay. We'll rerun that. Rerun that. Oh boy, is she laggy. Do I have a job offer? What are you asking? Are you asking if I have a... I have a job. Are you asking if I have a job offer for you? No. No, I don't. I'm not sure what you're asking. Okay, now let's rerun that and make sure. Make sure that's right. What project are you working on? The project is called My Project. It is a video game, doing some Unreal Engine game dev. It's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain.
Hello.
Raid!
It's John Cena!
John Cena! It's chaos.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Put it reverse, Terry. Put it reverse.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
doing?
What the dog do? Welcome in. Sylar. I'm unfamiliar with you, but welcome in. How was your stream? Thank you so much for the raid. Let me find out where my Twitch chat is. And hit you with the shout outs. Thank you. Thank you so much. What were you guys up to? It was good, thank you. What were you working on? What kind of dev do you do? Sylar's real name is John Cena. Yeah, everyone who raids is actually John Cena. Little did you guys know. How's your stream going? It's going nice. Going nice. We're working on, it's going to be RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo with procedural terrain. Here is one such seed that we've generated. Here's me, Record Scratch. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. Here's our procedural world. Every pixel on here is a terrain chunk. There's a chunk right there. And so that relates to a pixel on this map. So this is Emberfall. It's supposed to be a desert. We don't have desert biomes yet. You got Emberfall, we're right next to Desolate Shore and Evergreen Thicket, Arcane Academy, Phantomwood Basin. So this is all procedural spawn stuff. The button smashing thing is so cool. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. I thought it was pretty silly. I like the Control Z counter. I think that's the most insightful. The most insightful one. It's like, how bad have I fucked up today? I'm a UE5 dev making a tower defense game. Oh, hell yeah. I love tower defenses. That sounds awesome. Yeah, let me hit you with the follow. I'll have to come check that out. Follow? Sorry, but you don't get notifications. No one does. Turn those off. But thank you so much. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Yeah, so we're doing, like I said, RPG Colony Sim Roguelite. I'm trying to combine something like something like vanilla WoW, you know, lots of classes, lots of abilities, talent trees, that kind of thing. Not an MMO, but I do hope for it to be multiplayer. I'm going to combine that with the Colony Sim, something like RimWorld is what I'm going for. So really depthy Colony Sim. Your base can get attacked. You have to build defenses. You got to send your colonists to go like chop wood or tend to the crops. Maybe you have a chef and stuff like that. You can commit war crimes, which is always fun. And yeah, so I've always wanted to be like down in the RimWorld world. So I've always wanted to be an RPG. And you know, I was thinking, why not make it a roguelite too? Because those are fun. So I want it to be a long-form roguelite as well, but we haven't really gotten into any of the roguelite systems yet. What we're working on today is coming up with procedural spawn locations. And so here is an example of those. So those will start popping up. So we spawn everything with PCG. I have a PCG graph that runs per chunk. And here are some spawn points we've generated. Now I was just working on getting some of these culled using like pathfinding to determine if they're valid points or not. I kind of just pick a point in 4 directions, and if it can pathfind to one of those points, then it's like, okay, that's valid, right? Because you don't want to spawn guys on just like, you know, super tiny nav mesh. You know, you don't want to spawn anyone here, so we have to do some filtering and stuff. And I just updated some of my PCG code, and I wanted to test it out. Because I want to make sure that different things are spawned in caves. And I have these, like, I had an is surface distinction. But that was just doing line trace straight down. So I was getting a point right in here that was technically on the surface, and it was a spawn point showed up there. I was like, well, for these spawn points, these are just going to be on the surface. So really what I would need is like a is height map. Is what I do for the procedural terrain. Generate a height map with a compute shader, generate 3D noise with a compute shader, and I stitch them together with kind of like a custom marching cubes algorithm shader as well. So that's what that's what I'm testing out now. Control Z most of the times is how many times did I fuck up counter, but sometimes it's how many times did I unfuck up. Yeah. Sometimes it's just ye olde source control as well, which I think is probably what I use it a lot for. So yeah, welcome in everyone. Welcome in. Let's see here. So I need a test to make sure, and we're just going to do a filter attributes element, except we're going to do is on height map. And so I had to write my own chunk surface sampler node. So this is my own PCG node that I wrote. And I want the whole world to be running at all times for the Colony Sim part of it. Like, you know, if you got a base right here and you run way over to the other side of the world, I still want your base to be running. If you sent colonists to go chop wood in the forest, you know, I want them to actually have to run over there and chop the wood, even if it's not rendered, right? Even if it's not actually a thing, right? It just exists in memory, right? So I wrote my own ECS system for that to kind of, I wasn't happy with mass, which is a built-in ECS system. So I wrote my own, and I wrote it so that it doesn't rely on collision at all. Neither does the terrain, because the terrain chunks aren't actually ever going to be there. Because you'll be, you know, way off into the distance. And so you'll see there's some navigation generated here, and there's some stuff placed here, even though there's no mesh. And the mesh isn't just invisible, the mesh doesn't exist at all, actually. What I've done is I've taken the raw, like, triangle and vertex data buffers, and I've stored them, and I can actually just, there's a really simple method, you can just kind of export that to the nav mesh, and the nav mesh just knows how to handle that. So that was super easy. But then I had to end up storing that in a spatial data structure so that I could do line traces through it efficiently. I don't want to have to iterate through every single triangle in a mesh to determine whether or not, you know, a line segment goes through it, whether or not there's a collision, right? Thank you for the follow, Pimptic. Thank you. Welcome in. So you store it in like a bounding volume hierarchy. So I have one of those for the terrain chunks. And that's how PCG knows how to spawn, because of that surface sampler node. So this is actually not using collision at all. No collision involved. Just a bounding volume hierarchy and some fake line traces. Just math, really. Just math. So here's some of that code. Here is some of that code. Yeah, I'm going to do a filter on the is on height map, and we want to filter for inside and outside filter. What are we setting this to? Type string. you're a Boolean. Bool value will go for true there, so save that. So here we have all of our points. Now, that's not right. It may take a second to rerun, because there's holy shit. Yeah, there's a lot of terrain chunks. There's a lot of terrain chunks. Are you guys running at the moment? You are. They're all running. Warning. Can I pour in? Yeah, okay, yeah. So this needs to, they need to rerun. I was doing the wrong thing. So hopefully, once it all reruns, which maybe I'll just kind of force it to. That means we'll start all the points in the caves will start to disappear. Hopefully. It does take it takes a damn minute. Takes a hot fucking minute, doesn't it? Yeah, it's still complaining about a warning that is not happening anymore. How did you decide on how big a chunk is? Did you just use an arbitrary number? Somewhat, yeah. For some reason, chunk size is something I keep thinking about. It's 12,000 Unreal Schmeckles. So I built an LOD system into it. And I picked, the max LOD is 240 verts. And I picked that number because it's easily divisible. It can be divided by 2, 4, 3, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I can divide that very nicely and increase and decrease the resolution of the terrain chunks. Now, those are just, that's an arbitrary coordinate system. And so you need to apply like a scale to it. And that's just the scale that is on the component, right? So the scale is 50 here. If you were to take 240 times 50, you get 12,000. So that's the size of the chunks. And so it's really just like I have a scale and I can change that to whatever I want to. So 12,000 is just kind of ended up there. Let's get rid of you. I may just like rerun this whole thing just to make sure. Yeah, let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead and rerun the whole thing so we clear out the cache and everything. PCG just absolutely loves to cache the damn world, and it's kind of annoying. Oh, matches. That's probably, yeah, it needs to be equals. Needs to be equals. Anima Rain, thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Bum, bum, bum. Are there any AoE 2 fans in here? Yeah, you have not, you're caching things way too much. Oh dear. I may just restart the engine. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to now. Yeah, so it's one thing that's like really annoying about PCG. It just caches so fucking much. And like for me, memory is gonna be the biggest bottleneck because of basically all of what I just explained with the world being online at all times. So that's annoying. And you can turn the caching off. But what that means is every like cycle that PCG runs, and it runs across multiple frames, it doesn't do it all in one go, and you wouldn't want it to anyways. It garbage collects every frame. And it's not insignificant garbage collection that it does, so that is a limitation I am going to have to work around. Right now I have the cache turned on. Because otherwise it just slows way the fuck down. You can change how long it takes to do GC. Can you elaborate on how long? On the how long part? Is it going to show inside and outside? I would like to only see one. Okay, it's showing me all. Okay. Okay, this is not working the way I thought it would. I guess I don't need to visualize it entirely. Give me this chunk. God, it takes so long to run. Let me just manually rerun this one. Cancel. Force regen. Okay, I have data. Is on height map. So we have 7,000 points on the height map. 15,000 points not on the height map. So actually, let me... I love this feature that they built in here. Does that change? It does. Oh. The garbage collector runs as a mark and sweep. You can change how long it waits before running a sweep. You can even turn it off if you have something intensive running. Yeah, so I mean, the problem with that is just like the longer I wait to run it, the more garbage piles up. And then it, you know, there's a bigger frame hit. So it's kind of a difficult problem to work around. There's going to be a sweet spot somewhere. But I wish PCG just managed its memory a little bit better. I think I need to like plug this into like a node or something. What kind of node? Let's just like do it. Transform points on both of those. Okay. So this is on height map. Okay. Now, so doing the debug. Okay, that's a good thing to write down. Doing a debug on a node with multiple output pins is just going to show you things on every pin. But yeah. So I think this is working right, because those are all height map points. And then let's change it to the underground points. I sent you my debug. Please respond. Those are underground points. Okay, interesting. Okay. So the tolerance I don't think is great enough. I need a bigger tolerance, I think. Because yeah. I mean, the good thing is that there were no height map points marked here, which is the more important one. Okay, so let's turn up the tolerance then. I just did a tolerance of 1. That's apparently not enough. And that makes sense because I have to do a bilinear interpolation to actually get, you know, because these are like randomly sampled points on the chunks. They don't line up with the triangle data, which is what I have to project it to. So they don't line up with these points of the triangles. So I have to do the interpolation between the points to determine what the height is in like the center of the triangle or whatever. So I think I just need a little bit more tolerance. Let's just go 10. Would I be mad if something was like 10 below? 10 is so small. So small. But it's not about the size. It's about how you use it. So yeah, I might, we're gonna wait for that to run. You don't need to worry about garbage collection if you keep everything in memory. No garbage, no worries. Yeah. Yeah. What was it? Oblivion just came out, had like a minimum 16 gigs. You know, I'm just gonna slap a minimum 64 gigs memory required. Okay, let's rerun you now. Nothing happened. Can you do something? Folks with stick, do something. Are you still running? Okay, it's still running. Let's cancel execution, pause regen. And then if I do it here, does it still regen? I cannot tell. Can I tell? Yeah, it doesn't want to listen to me. Okay, I guess it does. Here's a question. I'd like to say the code for a game like Skyrim is more or less complex. Is more or less... You're asking if it's more or less complex than a game like Fortnite. And or does one have a lot more in volume? I mean, there are probably different parts of both of those games that are more complicated than the counterpart. Like, there's no multiplayer in Skyrim, right? So the multiplayer netcode for Fortnite is definitely more complicated. Like, that's a complicated thing to do. Now, Fortnite uses like world partitioning and stuff, so it's kind of open world in a way that Skyrim is. It's a completely different engine as well. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Like, there's a lot more AI and NPC interactions in Skyrim, a lot more story and assets and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to compare. Like, they're just so different that it's pretty hard to compare them in terms of complexity. And, you know, just, I know, like, in the Skyrim engine, like, there are no ladders in Bethesda games because they crash the engine from... I don't know how true that is, but I have read that on Reddit, so that should be pretty true. As true can be if you've seen it on Reddit. Okay, the tolerance is still pretty bad, actually. It works one way, but not the other, which is kind of strange. But that is suffice to say that, you know, a ladder, probably relatively simple to do in Fortnite. Not so simple to do in the Bethesda engine, apparently. Yeah, so why am I getting so many of these, huh? Let me take a look at this code again. Who wrote this fucking code? Of course I know that man, he's me. Oh, I did it on the wrong thing. That would be why that didn't have a difference. Jesus Christ. Thanks a lot for not answering me like I'm the biggest idiot. Of course not. I would hope that I don't do that to anyone. But I don't think it was not a dumb question at all. Okay, that called some, but there's still quite a bit. That's so interesting. That's so interesting that the projected point is so much farther away. What are the height differentials here? I guess what I could do, I could write something that instead of adding a boolean here, this could be the difference between the projected height map point Z and the normal world Z. And then I could apply that to density, and then I would color these black to white based on that. Let's try that. So let's make it a float. So height map diff attribute float. Just do height map difference default value -1. Height map difference attribute set value. So now we just do it unconditionally. Set value equal to world height map Z minus world space point Z. I should do absolute value, right? I don't know, because then I could tell if it was above or below, which could be valuable information. Yeah, okay, let's do that. And so then this will become, my little testy test here will become How do I take an attribute and apply it to density? Density remap? Okay, so we're going to have to... How do I just like set the attribute? Compose? Probably not. Attribute partition remap, attribute select, attribute rename. Was it remap? Copy attributes. Can you just like set attribute? What is attribute read? Well, I want to set an attribute to the density values. Fortnite keeps becoming less complex compared to itself with the passing of time. Starting as a building game with fortifications and fighting zombie waves. Yeah, I remember that. I remember the alpha. Crazy. It became a battle royale with building, yeah. And now it is pivoting to just a... I mean, the pivot happened like... I feel like that pivot happened like 6 years ago. My little brother just came in the kitchen like, I'm a god coder myself. I can give myself 20 septims as the dragon board. Oh, he's got the hacks, huh? He's got the cheat codes. Okay. Yeah, how do I do this? Let me do a little searchy search here. God, of course there's not very many resources for me here. Wait, can't I? No, it has to be in density because that's what the debug. I want to see the debug color. This is a maths operation, I guess. I don't understand. Okay, what if I did this? Let me see. Okay, region is paused, okay. A and B, so we're gonna take input source, density. Input source 2, and then output target. No comments on any of this. Maybe I don't need a B? Output target, input is going to be now, not density. Input is going to be Height map difference. Height map difference does not exist. Okay, no dollar sign. Understood. There it is. Okay. We did it. Oh my god, the difference is a lot. For some of those. Okay. I'm going to need to divide that. Divide density. Force opt. I don't care if it's a double or not. Divide density to density. Can I not, how do I want to divide by like a constant. How do I do that? Input B. Oh, it can be just a constant here. Let's divide by 1,000. No, let's divide by 100. I'll put that to density. Do I have multiple? I do. Just that one. It looks crazy. It's a fucking raven here. Okay, so they're all fucking black. It's not what I was expecting. I don't know if my divide by 100 worked. Yeah, that didn't do a damn thing. I was hoping to get a little bit of color on these guys, or how far away. Like the ones on the height map should be black, and then the ones on not on the height map should be like blindingly white. Maybe a density remap would be good here. Maybe that's what that was for. Density remap. In range min. Can I get like the max? No, I guess not. Oh, PCG, I wish you had better documentation. But I guess I can just go like 100 on range max. Clamp to range. Yes. Okay, I don't know how to work with PCG, I guess. Oh, I was looking at the wrong value too. Okay, I don't think I set it. I don't think I actually ended up setting it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. What if I do that? I have no idea. I just want to apply. Oh my yeah, see, this is the blindingly white I was talking about. Okay, maybe that did it. It is the sun. There we go. Okay, that's what I was picturing. Okay. Okay. So the things that are more blacker. Interesting. Okay, so there was some 3D noise here that kind of carved into the mountain a little bit. I see. Oh, you know what this just fucking unlocked? Oh, this is gonna be so cool. Okay, what I just unlocked here is actually really sick. Let me find a... Yeah, perfect. Okay, okay. So you see this little cave here? Just reach in, please. Okay. This little cave here? I mean, I guess it's gonna be kind of hard, actually. Fuck. Yeah, with the mountains like that, it would actually be kind of hard. Okay, so what I was thinking, which I've kind of just ruined, but you see how it's like kind of gray around the edges, right? Because they're farther away from where they used to be on the height map before the 3D noise carved into them. I was thinking like, oh, I can use this to define entrances to caves. Right? And then I can decorate those entrances. I can put like rocky outcroppings and stuff, you know? I can define that and make it look really cool. But then I was like looking, I'm like, oh yeah, it's also gonna, I'm also gonna get this. So it's not just that. I would need to do some more processing on these points, unfortunately. Unfortunately. I guess I just need to like... I don't know what kind of operation I would need to do to figure that out. To like get rid of these ones, but not these ones. That would be so hard to do. So hard. This is good though. I like it that I changed this attribute to a distance. So that I can, it's giving me more information than just the Boolean. Just nice. Yeah, some 3D noise carved into there too, okay. So underground, that distinction is maybe somewhat difficult to determine. Well, I guess that's just not is on surface. Yeah, so underground actually isn't a different distinction than that. These are my point distinctions. Surface, we do line trace straight down. Whatever it hits is surface. If it doesn't hit, then it's not surface, which is underground. Now, not height map is not necessarily underground, right? Because it would give me these points, and it would give me these points, which, you know, are those underground? No, they're not, but they are from 3D noise. Do I want to do something with that? Yeah, maybe. Now, what if I did a density remap from 1000? I would probably have less gray. No, I would have more gray. More information. Okay, I'm frozen. Okay, there we go. Now I have a little bit higher resolution here. And yeah, now I can start to filter out those points are still there. Their density is quite a bit different though. So yeah, I can filter out if I do a longer, if I do more of a tolerance, I can actually define it a lot better. So maybe that's what I fucking do. Yeah, start to define, like just take that Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. This could be very, very useful. I don't know if it makes much more sense to do more than 1,000. Do 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 do. Oh, let's just go 3,000 just for funsies. Just for funsies. Yeah, and we just start getting a bigger gradient. So I could use that. Okay, so I could use that. So picture this chunk as being actually finished generating with the bottom two filled in. Like that's pretty far down there, right? And those are a lot of those are technically surface points. But if I were a player and I walk over here and I look down in there, I want to see a bunch of gobbos, you know? I want to see a bunch of cave spawn guys. So maybe I can use this to determine how far away a point needs to be. It's basically saying how deep underground, how deep is this from the height map, which is really nice actually. And so if I did something like, oh, this is nice. I'm so glad I figured this out. Thank you for being here, guys. We can actually even do like 9,000, which is most of a terrain chunk. Terrain chunks are 12,000. Let me grab, yeah, that's going to be an interesting chunk. Let me grab that one. Generate, give me that. Oh, that looks fucking sick. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I could also just do like... Because this is a little gradienty, right? This is a little gradienty. Because it also depends on where the height map was. And also, because like, there's a mountain. Like, there are border mountains around each zone. So you can see there's a mountain here. And there's a mountain here. So we're right on the border of a zone. And so the points that were underneath this mountain are actually going to be grayer, right? Than the ones that aren't. Like, that's why these are white. Yeah, you can actually see it right here. Or no, that's, we need to rerun this guy. But they should, yeah, it's kind of like wider here than it is here because of that mountain. So I could also just use an absolute Z, I suppose. But I guess I would need to know like maybe like the average altitude of the chunk as well. Because you could have a chunk that has a really high altitude next to one. Like if it, like for instance, like this terrain chunk, very high. The average altitude of this is quite high. So I don't know, maybe we can do an absolute Z, but that's just going to be like a dist from zero kind of mob spawn situation. Yeah, there's a lot of different techniques I could use for that. I also have some zones that are just like, that just get shot through the roof when it comes to the altitude curves and stuff, which I need to play around more with. Because I do want some more drastic altitude shifts. Growing your hair long to be able to command shaders and materials has its drawback. Is that what you did? I think you got to do like some sort of demonic rituals as well, or else the hair growth doesn't take effect. From what I've heard. So yeah, maybe distance from height map is not necessarily the most reliable metric to go by here. I'm wondering if these grays here are close enough to those grays there. You know, to where I would be selecting these, like the gray here, and also, but if I only did white, you know, if I only did white, let's do like a little quick and dirty test here. So let's do a Let's do a density filter. We're going to do a density filter. I don't know what that should be yet, but then we're also going to do a slope filter. So I'm going to copy that. Slope filter as well. And then I want to know what that is. And so density filter, yeah, we'll just start at 0.5 there. Actually, let's go all the way up to 0.9. Slope filter, and then give me this. Generate. And select it. Oh god, do I have nothing? What happened? I wanted 0.9 to 1, right? No pin. Okay, did it not run? Come on. Okay, there it goes. Okay, there we go. There's our shape. Yeah, so we called the ones that are there. But yeah, 0.9 maybe a little bit too strong. So there's a little bit more. And then we do the culling on the slope, which should get rid of those ones, right? Yeah, so it got rid of all the ones on the side. So these could be like some underground spawn locations, right? And then we would want to, we'll do some attribute noise. Attribute noise, that shit up. Boy. Okay, density filter as well. Yeah, boy. Okay, so we're gonna cut down on like 50% of those. Hello, I sent you my density, please respond. Okay, the attribute noise is not attributing, is it? What do we have? We have 20k. Or it didn't filter a goddamn thing. Mode set. Oh, maybe I think I need to probably specifically set. There we go. So yeah, we can cut down on those. 0.9. Yeah, so there's some spawn points there. Probably we can cut down on that even more, you know. 0.99. Why not? Fuck it. There we go, there's some spawn points. And then let's open up the original density filter as well. Open that bad boy up. There we go, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, we've got our cave spawns. Ladies and gentlemen, there they are. A little proof of concept there. Thanks to the height differential data that I wasn't even attempting to go for. This was a side quest. This was a side quest. Yeah, and we've delivered the pie to the fucking old lady farm at the farm or something. Here's a bunch of goblins and goblins down here or something, you know? Bunch of creepers and shit. Let me run it for this chunk too. First generates. Go. Yeah, I don't think we would have gotten any, which is good. That is good. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Actually, I could run it for this chunk too. It is generated, it's just not shown. Let's run my guy over there. Maybe we can get him to actually show the chunks. It's annoying that that chunk isn't spawned. I may need to increase my underground Z chunk radius. Okay, we're going in. We're going in. Cover me. Cover me. I want to implement sliding. I think that'll be fun on the terrain. You know, I want some, like, Satisfactory does a great job with movement. Now, I'm not going to have the gravity, or rather lack thereof, like Satisfactory has. Okay. There's so many... This terrain is so non-conforming. Okay, let's unpause the regen. We're doing it. You were a failed experiment. You can go away. You are going to be underground bonds proof of concept. The slime guy, welcome in, my dude. Sliding, yeah, it was kind of a shitty slide, but I would like an actual physics-based slide. Would be nice. Oh, come on. I gotta rebuild. Don't do me like that. Alright, we'll rebuild. Fine. Fine. Spoke like a true evil scientist. Do you see me as an evil scientist? Is that how I come off? I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Yeah, I think I just want to see a, I just want to see the output of that little proof of concept on like a wider scale. Real quick here. Is stream bot on? No, I don't have any stream bots or anything. The song is there in the player. It's Bits and Hits on YouTube. You can look them up. Okay, it didn't remember that. It's a virtual keyboard. That sound is from a virtual keyboard. I have a Corsair K90 though, with blue switches. Okay, we're just completely frozen. We might be thread locked actually. We are. The virtual keyboard is mech vibes though. You can just, it's just like a free little program you can download. But yeah, I love the sounds too. Okay, let's figure out someone to raid because I'm gonna hop off. Let's see who's streaming. Let's see who's doing what. Donnie beat Dark Souls but turn-based? Let's hit him with a raid. So Shawnee B is another Unreal Engine developer. He's working on a Dark Souls-like, but turn-based. So very interesting concept. So I'm gonna send you guys over there. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is a fun stream. Good stream, thank you. Yeah, and a huge shout out for the raid. Huge shout out to the raid from Sylar Atomic. I'll definitely have to check out the tower defense game he was working on. But yeah, hopefully, I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow or not. We'll see. Maybe a short little stream in the morning, probably, if anything. Okay, we're ready to raid. Thank you all. Goodbye. Have a great weekend, everyone. Goodbye.
It sounds like they're going back to the drawing